Mic check. Oh, I did it. I pushed the wrong button again. That is the most devastating mistake that I make. When instead of hitting the screen switch, I hit the music off and then it just ends abruptly. It makes me want to go back to bed and just like start over again. But good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to everybody involved. Bang Bang Niner Gang. I haven't heard from Cam. I tried to reach out to Cam on Discord. I tried to like publicly talk about the football game last night, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there last night. Seems like I'm guessing that the reason that the Rams lost last night is because they were playing with like their backup quarterback and a bunch of receivers who they just signed on the team recently, and their best defensive player was out, and their one of their best offensive players was out, and their franchise quarterback. That's probably what happened last night to the Rams. But good to see you guys today. Oh, it feels good. I took so much shit from Cam last time. Whatever, Puka did great. Yeah, great. Can I just say something? This is gonna piss everybody off that likes football. I goddamn hate fantasy football. I think it is the worst thing. And I know this is unpopular and I'm probably wrong, but I hate fantasy football with a passion. I've never played it. I will never play it. It just makes talking about football unbearable. Like you see the game last night, and they're like, yeah, Christian McCaffrey had 6 receptions and got me 86 points. Great. Great. I just want to talk about the football game. Who cares about the Rams? That's right. Juju Bug. Fuck LA. You guys can't just take the Rams from the good Midwestern state of Missouri, the show me state. You can't just take it and then act like it was yours all along. I agree with that. We should start an RTP fantasy football league where we all auto draft and never touch it. That's what I did. Every time I've played fantasy football, I wound up auto drafting because I didn't want to go to the draft. And then I never set my lineup, and then the people in the league get mad at me. Yeah, I've got some agreement. I didn't think there would be any agreement there. For those who do play fantasy football, no shade. We all have different things that we like. Ash Raid, thanks everybody coming over from the Ash Raid. Let's kick things off with the guy we haven't seen for a while, Mr. Global. It's going to take a second because I got this off of Blue Sky. And Jesus Christ, let's go Blue Sky. Holy moly. There we go. Anybody that ever wonders why I don't use Blue Sky, it's because it takes 45 minutes for a video to load.
Breaking news, just got word of this. Massive explosion and fire being reported at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo, California. As far as injuries, things like that, we do not have word on that yet, but a couple of reports that I saw said the blast was felt from miles away. So this appears to be a pretty significant event, as you can see. This refinery provides roughly 20% of all of the gas to the state of California. It produces over 12 million gallons of gasoline a day, along with diesel and jet fuel. So I would expect to see some sort of gas price spike in California, probably happening right now as we speak. They're probably resetting their prices on their pumps, knocking 20% of the fuel supply off of the state of California. If that is in fact what happens, would be pretty significant for prices. I will keep you updated as I learn more.
It does seem suspect. I don't know what's behind that. I don't know if anybody's had it. Shout out if you're in California. Looks like gas current average is $4.64. Jesus Christ, you guys pay a lot for gas over there. About 30 miles northeast of the explosion, it was intense. Yeah, they said, like you said there, like people were feeling it miles away. Do we know anything yet about that? I caught that late. I hadn't seen it. I put my phone away. Basically yesterday when I found out we were supposed to do a show yesterday, and then I found out that this thing I did where I volunteered at my daughter's school to help with lunch, I thought I volunteered once. Turns out I volunteered for the rest of the semester. So sorry about not having a show yesterday. I didn't realize that it was that level of commitment. So I got an email early in the morning on Thursday, like looking forward to seeing you today. I was like, fuck. I didn't know that I did that. And I don't have the courage to go tell them that I didn't mean it and that I have a job to do. So I just take it. I'm just like, all right, fine. I'll just not work on Thursdays. So yeah, I work there now. It is fun. I like it. Like it's just a bunch of like kindergartners and first graders. They have like staggered lunches, and they all make fun of me a lot. There's a group of girls that tries to make me cry every day. There's a group of boys that pretend that their stuff isn't open because a lot of what I'm doing is just like opening people's uh, like fruit snacks and milk and like Tupperware that they can't open. And there's like they've figured out now that they can make stuff look closed, and then they have to walk all the way across the lunchroom and open it. And they think that's really funny. So I do enjoy it. Kids are assholes, and I appreciate that about kids. So sorry about that until at least until the end of this semester, until Christmas break. I'm every Thursday I'm doing lunch duty. I do sit at the table with them, but you have to get up. Thank you, thanks, Emily. I don't know if it's commitment. I really do enjoy it. I want to share this story here in a second. But first, I want to remind everybody that we are crowd-funded. We do have a gift goal up in the top left corner there. If you can help us knock that out by the end of the live, that would be terrific. It is Friendly Friday, so the last hour of the show today, if you're new here, the last hour of the show, we take friendly callers. It's the part of our show that the people who don't like us hate the most, which makes us all like it the most. We just need to make sure we have that gift goal knocked out before then, and then we'll do that. But also make sure you're a member of our Discord if you want to jump up on the last hour of the show. And any mod that's here, you can just type in the chat, how do you get in the Discord? They'll send you invite. Don't bother jumping in the Discord if you're somebody that just is going to go in there to kick shit up. It won't end very well, and we do try and keep that like a happier place. So don't do that. Also, Sophia said, "Red hat, huh?" I hate red. I hate the color red. I've always hated it, even as a Niners fan. But I wanted it. This is the only Niners hat I have, so I had to throw it on just for Cam today. L Cam in the chat if we could. All right, let me share this story here from the FBI because what we're seeing out of this administration, which is becoming painfully obvious even to those on the right, is that like they're just going to do authoritarianism and they're just going to try and discredit everybody who they don't like, or specifically people who might stand up for civil rights. Charlie Kirk was apparently not alone when he said he wanted to undo the Civil Rights Act. Seems like this administration was on board with that as well. The FBI's cut ties with the Southern Poverty Law Center, a civil rights organization that tracks extremist groups, after conservatives criticized the nonprofit for including slain right-wing activist Charlie Kirk's organization on its list of hate groups. In a post on X on Friday, Kash Patel accused the Southern Poverty Law Center of turning into a partisan smear machine rather than a civil rights advocate, and said his agency had severed all ties. I just saw it actually. I don't know why we're pretending still at this point that it's not a hate group. It is crazy to say that Turning Point USA didn't like push hate on people. It absolutely did. You guys just think that like the stuff that you hate, the people that you hated, that was warranted because of your beliefs. I wasn't even going to add this, but I want to show this clip from I don't know the details on this story. I saw it 5 minutes before we went live. So this is a journalist that I regularly trust. They do good research. So I'm gonna put it up there. But if there's other details I need to know about, let me know.
Two teenage girls are dead after a disturbed 17-year-old stalked them for months, made posts about Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk, and live streamed himself talking about Charlie Kirk, and then allegedly rammed his Jeep into them while they were biking. When he was 12 years old, you see him posting MLB photos. This is it right here. He posts baseball at 12 years old, and then he makes another account where he begins to repost Andrew Tate. He begins to get sucked into this culture and expressed explicit contempt for any of his female peers. Then over and over, he gets sucked down this Andrew Tate rabbit hole, is getting in arguments online when he's 15 years old. Then when he's 17 years old, he ends up killing two of his peers, and he goes on stream and is saying that they said nasty things about Charlie Kirk.
Hey, whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his fucking death. Stupid ass clown.
What?
Just remember that.
It is so clear how young men get sucked down these pipelines, and this is a perfect example.
Yeah. So I'll look more into that, but of course it generates hate. Like I was listening to our friend Gadget on YouTube. He's been on here before talking about Andrew Tate. His channel covers like a lot of this Andrew Tate trials that are going on right now. And it should be alarming to all of us that Andrew Tate is liked at all. It's incredibly alarming. Like the way that man talks about just women. It baffles me that Andrew Tate is somebody who, at this point, still has supporters. Guys, I apologize in advance if this stream crashes. My computer has been insane this morning. It has not been going well. Let me check the VPN real quick. Make sure I'm in the right spot. We'll see. I apologize in advance. It's been screwy. Let me get back to that Reuters link there. Patel continued, said their so-called hate map has been used to defame mainstream Americans and even inspired violence. Patel said without offering details. I don't know what they're talking about there, unless he's trying to talk about like Charlie Kirk. I don't think we've seen any information that Tyler Robinson was taking his notes from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Patel's decision came just 2 days after he announced that the FBI would end all partnerships with the Anti-Defamation League, a Jewish organization that tracks anti-Semitism. The ADL had included Turning Point in a glossary of extremism and hate before deleting the entire list from its website after criticism from billionaire Elon Musk and other conservatives. Elon Musk also a bigot. Just prominent bigots are showing up. I guess I don't know what you're doing, ADL. I don't know why when you get pressured by somebody like Elon Musk, why you take that stuff down. That only bolsters their claims. It only makes them feel like, oh, let's double down on this. They never go backwards, right? It's never like they get upset at somebody and they're like, this isn't fair. And then when the person takes it down, they're like, all right, now we'll stop being anti-Semitic. Now we'll stop being racist. We just wanted to prove a point. No, they escalate it. That's why Democrats can't cave on the shutdown here. Because this version of the Republican Party, this version of conservatives, they want Christian nationalism. Even those that don't know that they want Christian nationalism, like they're along for the ride. So every time you give a little, like if there's a gap between you, give a little, and then they just extend that gap. Give a little, they extend that gap. Like they want that gap to stay between you. There's nothing about this administration that wants that gap to be closed. In a post on X on Thursday, noting that Kirk was briefly mentioned in a SPLC newsletter the day before his death, Musk accused the SPLC of being guilty of inciting Kirk's murder without providing evidence, because we don't need to. But that probably got tens of millions of impressions, right? And then you get the pressure. What we're seeing right now is a bunch of like non-victims claiming to be victims to usher in government control and Christian nationalism control. That's what we're going to talk about mostly today. And this is how they're doing it. This is a new reporting from Wired. This is incredibly frightening. ICE wants to build out a 24/7 social media surveillance team. That's not good. Remember the Patriot Act? What we're about to read here, as I pull up I need to pull up the payment apps. What we're about to read here is going to make the Patriot Act look like a nice little summer breeze. Jessica said, fuck MAGA, Trump, and ICE. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate you. MAGA, Trump. Yeah. I'm with that. U.S. immigration authorities are moving to dramatically expand their social media surveillance with plans to hire nearly 30 contractors to sift through posts, photos, and messages, raw material to be transformed into intelligence for deportation raids and arrests. Federal contracting records reviewed by Wired showed that the agency is seeking private vendors to run a multi-year surveillance program out of 2 of its little-known targeting centers. We're going to have that's what we need. Private vendors having access to all this information. That's definitely what we need. The program envisions stationing nearly 30 private analysts at immigration and customs enforcement facilities in Vermont and Southern California. Their job, Scour Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and other platforms, converting posts and profiles into fresh leads for enforcement raids. Look at the names here: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. All organizations who have shown that they're ready to cave to Trump at any time. Some of you are bringing up Palantir. They're gonna show up in this article. They're part of it. The initiative is still at the request for information stage, as a step agencies use to gauge interest from contractors before an official bidding process. But draft planning documents show the scheme is ambitious. ICE wants a contractor capable of staffing the centers around the clock, constantly processing cases on tight deadlines, and supplying the agency with the latest and greatest subscription-based surveillance software. That's where we're at. Jesus Christ. We're talking about tech companies all vying for the government's contracts so the government can spy on all of us. You really think they're going to stop at ICE here? You really think that they're just going to, oh, we're only going to use this for people who are here illegally? For sure. That's what they did with the Patriot Act. They never overstepped their bounds there. They definitely won't use this on other people. The facilities at the heart of this plan are 2 of ICE's 3 targeting centers, responsible for producing leads that feed directly into the agency's enforcement operations. The National Criminal Analysis and Targeting Center sits in Williston, Vermont. It handles cases across much of the U.S. The Pacific Enforcement Response Center, based in Santa Ana, oversees the western region and is designed to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just spying on the American people. Together, these teams would operate as intelligence arms of ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Division. They will receive tips and incoming cases, research individuals online, and package the results into dossiers that could be used by field offices to plan arrests. Nice. Nice, dude. We're getting dossiers out of this administration. This is so cool. They're gonna have a file on all of us. But the good news is it won't just be the government. Like, Palantir will have that information. Anybody who wants to bid on these contracts, they get that information too. Will they use that to target you for advertising? Yeah. Will they use it for blackmail? Yeah. Will we hear about it? No, because they'll keep it under wraps. Because once you give the government this much power, they abuse it and they lie to you about it. So that's pretty cool. The scope of information contractors are expected to collect is broad. Draft instructions specify open source intelligence, public posts, photos, and messages on platforms from Facebook to Reddit to TikTok. This messages part keeps fucking me up. Like, this isn't public information. Your messages are never supposed to be public information. Analysts may also be tasked with checking more obscure or foreign-based sites such as Russia's Vkontakte. I don't even know what that is. I mean, is that like? Does anybody know what that is? Vkontakte? Did I say that right? Takti. The Russian social media based in St. Petersburg, predominantly used by Russian speakers. 500 million accounts. Jesus Christ. Huh. All right. Ah, fuck. Let me go back to it. Why did that close? I didn't do open link in new tab, I guess. They would also be armed with powerful commercial databases. Where did it go? They'd also be armed with powerful commercial databases such as LexisNexis, Current, and Thomson Reuters Clear, which knit together property records, phone bills, utilities, vehicle registrations, and other personal details into searchable files. The plan goes beyond staffing. ICE wants algorithms asking contractors to spell out how they might weave artificial intelligence into the hunt, a solicitation that mirrors other recent proposals. The agency has also set aside more than $1 million a year to arm analysts with the latest surveillance tools. All these people that Donald Trump is getting money from, that are all investing in AI. Do you see how Donald Trump is forcing AI into everything that we do? That's the handout. That's the quid pro quo. For what reason? Earlier this year, The Intercept revealed that ICE had floated plans for a system that could automatically scan social media for negative sentiment toward the agency and flag users to show a proclivity for violence. Procurement records previously reviewed by 404 Media identified software used by the agency to build dossiers on flagged individuals, compiling personal details, family links, and even use facial recognition to connect images across the web. Have you noticed when ICE does this? Like when they go up, that's why ICE gets their camera out a lot of times. They're actually taking pictures of people's faces and they're using a facial recognition software to try and track down people who are here illegally. But they're taking a picture of private citizens as well, and then that goes into the database. ICE's main investigative database, built by Palantir, already uses algorithmic analysis to filter huge populations and generate leads. The new contract would funnel fresh social media and open source inputs directly into that system, further automating the process. Remember Palantir? They're like they said that they don't share any of this information with other countries, with any of our enemies. And then when asked, like, can you prove that? They're like, no, we just wouldn't do that. Like, we just won't. Like, why would we? Of course we wouldn't do that. And that's their whole answer. Like, we're just going to trust them. They don't do that. Honestly, that was Alex Karp's answer. Just trust us, dude. We're the good guys. Other documents obtained by 404 Media this summer revealed that the police in Medford, Oregon, performed license plate reader searches for ICE's Homeland Security Investigations Division, while HSI agents later ran searches in federal databases at the request of local police, an informal back and forth that effectively gave ICE access to tools it is not authorized to use. Remember, ICE is not a state or local police agency. They are not supposed to have access to this. But what they're doing is they're just calling their buddies in the police department, and the police department's like, yeah, we'll do it. Other surveillance contracts have raised similar alarms. In September 2024, ICE signed a $2 million contract with Paragon, an Israeli spyware company whose flagship product, Graphite, can allegedly remotely hack messaging apps like WhatsApp and Signal. The Biden White House quickly froze the deal under an executive order restricting spyware use, but ICE reactivated it in August of 2025 under the Trump administration. Last month, 404 Media filed a Freedom of Information lawsuit demanding ICE release the contract and related records, citing widespread concern that the tool could be used to target immigrants, journalists, and activists. The Electronic Privacy Information Center has similarly sued ICE, calling its reliance on data brokers a significant threat to privacy and liberty. The American Civil Liberties Union has argued that buying bulk data sets, such as smartphone location trails gathered from ordinary apps, helps ICE sidestep warrant requirements and helps it pull in vast amounts of data with no clear link to its enforcement mandate. The newly proposed social media program is only the latest in a string of surveillance contracts ICE has pursued over the last few years. In 2020 and 2021, ICE bought access to Shadow Dragon's SocialNet, a tool that aggregates data from more than 200 social networks and services into searchable maps of a person's connections. Around the same time, the agency contracted with Babel Street for Locate X, which supplies location histories from ordinary smartphone apps, letting investigators reconstruct people's movements without a warrant. ICE also adopted LexisNexis, a current used by agents to look up addresses, vehicles, and associates. Though the scale of spending on that service is unclear. In September, ICE signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Clearview AI, a facial recognition company that built its database by scraping billions of images from social media and the public web. What are the Republicans saying here? Are they? Oh shit! There goes my light. Are they just blaming Biden that are in the chat today? Is that what we're doing? Republicans, what do you have to say about this today? About just like handing over surveillance to ICE? What do you have to say to that? It's Biden's fault, I assume, right? I don't know. I'm about to go back to a flip phone. Yeah, for real. Danielle said it's time for the country to see what the full GOP control feels like. And if midterms are free and fair and we lose anyway, at least they won't be able to blame Dems for all the harm GOP causes in this term. Same. Party of small government. Yeah. We just want a small government. We just want freedoms. We also need you to watch us shit. It's very important. We love privacy. We love freedom. But you need to be able to identify what we ate by watching everything we do. Tony said, bang, bang, Niner game. Fuck Nick Bosa. That's right. Liberals for Trump. Hey, David, good to see you. I don't see anything. Still blame the Dems. I'm looking. You guys just aren't here today. That's good. Might be a nice day today. Throughout, ICE has leaned on Palantir's investigative case management system to combine disparate streams of data into a single investigative platform. Recent contract updates show the system lets agents search people using hundreds of categories, from immigration status and country of origin to scars, tattoos, and license plate reader data. Each surveillance contract ICE signs adds another layer: location trails, social networks, financial records, biometric identifiers feeding into Palantir's hub. So all this stuff that they're giving permission for Palantir to get access to, it goes into Palantir's hub. But don't worry, Palantir said they won't share that information. It's fine. They won't do it. They're going to be really cool about this. Anyways, that's from Wired. Look for more reporting coming out from them as they continue this. There, it's freedom of information requests have not been answered yet. This was Dell Cameron. Wired continues to get story after story after story. They're doing incredible work in the Trump administration. All right. Did we get any answer there? Oh yeah, there we go. We do have MAGA in the chat, and they're talking about trans people. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Elias, what the fuck is your problem? It's crazy. Like, I don't know why you engage with that person, but Jesus fucking Christ. We're talking about the government spying on every move you do, and you're like, but what about the trans people? Shouldn't we be talking about trans people now? Jesus, fuck, man. Get it together. Where are you? Come back here. Let's talk about this. Why the fuck are you talking about trans people right now? Come back. I'd like to know why, when we're talking about government surveillance, you're talking about trans people right now. You goddamn lunatic. What's going on with you? I need an answer for that. I see you laughing, and it is, in all fairness, it's funny. But honest to God, what the fuck is wrong with you right now? Yeah, they asked you what's a woman. Why'd they ask? Why did they ask? Why are you asking that question? What are you doing in here? We're talking about government surveillance. Why is that even the question being discussed in the chat right now? I feel like a teacher. What is going on with you guys? Get it the fuck together, Republicans. Well, it looks like they're going to spy on us now, so I better change the subject to trans people. Just be an adult. You're supposed to be an adult if you're here. Like, it's supposed to be 18 plus if you're here. Be one. It's time for you to be an adult. I don't know how to say your name. I don't know if it's Elias. Sorry if I'm getting that wrong, but you got to get it together. You got to stop thinking about trans people so much. Just fire one off real quick, get that post-nut clarity, and come back to us, and we'll talk about the stuff that we're actually talking about today. But you don't need to edge to trans people for the entire 3.5 hours of this live. Just fire it off quickly, come back, and we can talk about stuff that's really important. Marianne, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you there. Let me double check over here. I got those. Back said party of small government and small dicks. I was unaware of that, but we're going to be able to know. Palantir is going to be able to tell us like which party has bigger dicks. Like that's how intrusive the Trump administration is getting into our life now. Is they're going to be able to tell us like Democrats technically have 1/8 inch smaller dicks than Republicans based on all of the spying that we've done on your dicks. You guys really want spying though? By the way, like you guys are the ones that'll get canceled for porn, right? You guys are the ones that'll get canceled for your search history. I could look at anything I want and I'm not going to be canceled here. Like if I had like literally the weirdest, outside of like stuff that's illegal, but if I had like the weirdest sexual search history and it came out publicly, I might be embarrassed, but nobody in our group would cancel me. But you guys, you'd be like, there was 2 men that kissed in that one, so you're canceled. You guys would all get canceled. Are you sure you want the government to have this information? You 100% sure on that? I wouldn't if I were you. FOT said W post not clarity. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning. I'm so glad we're starting off early with the
penis talk.
Penis and nut talk.
Yeah.
If anything, we can always count on that. So we've got some Venmos and stuff like that I dropped in our chat.
Got him. Janelle said, good morning, Jay and Jen. My favorite part of the day. Renee said, stare into the camera. All right. My name is Jay. I love Bo Nix and the Broncos. I wish the 49ers had a good quarterback. I can't define bad. Marcet, are you high enough to pull your hood over your hat this morning? I'm not. I'm not high at all this morning. That was tough. I'd probably owe you guys an apology for date night with Admir. I came in way too blazed, and then we immediately started arguing with Admir and Amanda, and I was not emotionally equipped for that moment. So I apologize to Admir and also to Amanda and also to all of you. Chelsea, thank you for this for the Venmo. Adrian said thanks for always having a great show. Appreciate you. All right. Anything else you want to say, Jen, while you're here?
Well, I mean, at least at one point in time, you looked like you looked like Kenny from South Park
I'll take it.
with
That's
your
fine.
with your hood. If you want to share,
You guys
you
know.
probably won't.
You guys know, like when you get to that stage, like you feel safer. You put the hood over, and you kind of feel like you're in a safe place. That's what it felt like.
Did you see the screenshot that I dropped in our chat that night with your hood up?
The one where you said you live in AZ, bro.
I don't know how you wear hoodies and stuff like that all the time when you live in Arizona. It's
So
like hotter than
no, because it's hot outside, it's cool inside, and there's just like so the AC is running all the time. So there's always cold air blasting at you because it has to cool the entire house. And right there is the AC vent. Like you can't see it, but it's there, just directly above me. So I'm getting cold air blown on me the entire time. That's why.
Still, it's way too hot. I get super warm. Anyways, but yeah, that's all that. Update the total. So that we can have that also. But yeah, like Jay mentioned, we're Friendly Friday. We've made an okay dent so far on some of the gifts, but we want to get to wrap up that gift goal total in the top left-hand corner before we can go the last hour of the show with friends. So if you haven't so Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chats, I'll go towards knocking down that balance. If you haven't subscribed to us already, depending on wherever you're watching, any paid subscription, you can join us for our member-only events. We have another one coming up on Monday, our last one for the Mormon dating show. So, and if you guys disagree with RTP, you can come up and have a conversation with him. How to do that is you DM me on Discord. My Discord username is the same as the Venmo. So send me a message on Discord and I can bring you on to talk to him. And then also check out the link tree in the bio. We're on most social media platforms. We've got merch, Jay's on Cameo, and we upload these episodes to Spotify. Since we're talking about,
we have so many neurodivergent people in our audience. I don't know. My hoodie string was like up on one side, and it was causing mass chaos in the chat. I fixed it, guys. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So
OCD in the house.
I mean, I've got OCD. I get that. I wasn't watching that closely though. So, since we're on the topic, I asked a friend of mine if having a penis is fun, and they told me that it has its ups and downs.
It's not bad. It's not. Did you laugh at that one? Did you just laugh?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay, I thought I heard.
Sorry,
I was excited about that. I thought.
No, I mean I have laughed, but not.
I have laughed before.
It's happened. Laughing has happened, but not necessarily that. So.
All right, thanks, Jen. It's great to have you here. Happy Friday to you. You got any dates this weekend you want to talk about?
No. I've got cheer shit tomorrow. I'm going to be having to do cheer shit tomorrow. But it's not hot. It rained here yesterday.
That's good.
That makes me. I love rain. Fun fact. Rain's my favorite.
That makes sense. I would assume darkness, rain,
clouds,
animals who have been run over.
No, I like animals. It's people that I don't necessarily like.
Cauldrons, caves, all those things. Hanging upside down, sleeping upside down, hanging from a limb, all those things.
Yeah, all that. So.
All right, thanks, Sid. Appreciate it. All right. I don't have the clip, but Mike Johnson has chastised Hakeem Jeffries for not just rolling with the punches when the White House keeps rolling out those dumbass videos. It's one of the few times that I actually think Mike Johnson's giving good advice, like responding when Trump does something, like when he puts out a clip like that that's obviously like has racial overtones and it's in the music, but then like what he makes Chuck Schumer say. It's obviously racist. I do think that when you're dealing with trolls, we deal with them all the time here. Sometimes you have to ignore them. So it's good advice. I don't know if any of us can do it. I don't think I'd have a hard time ignoring Trump. It's good advice, but since Donald Trump's not going to stop memeing, Stephen Colbert, who has stopped giving a fuck a very, very long time ago, has decided to get in on the AI generated sombrero themed videos, and I'm just gonna. "58 seconds." Don't ban S. Wilson forever. Forever. Just don't actually, but don't do that. Don't say things like that. 48 seconds longer than he'd actually last. No, it was a wide gap in those cushions. I think he wasn't getting the friction that he was looking for. It looks like a pretty used up couch. So that could be what the problem is. Meanwhile, Thomas Massie is taking his time away from Washington. He's going home and he's holding town halls, which this is insane. Not the video. Before we get to this, just like, what is this? Are we in a farmer's market? There's apparently some live music here. We got hay bales. Not enough denim for my liking. I don't know what this is, but listen to Thomas Massie. He's going full scorched earth now.
These commercials that are running, they're paid by 3 billionaires. It's called...
So he's talking about the commercials currently being run against him in his district, which, by the way, there's nobody running against him yet. At least that's backed by somebody. So the ads are just attacking him. They're not even like promoting somebody else. The ads are just attacking Thomas Massie. That's a church? Okay. They're getting ready for their fall event, I guess. Jesus loved a pumpkin patch. We know that.
At the end of the ad, they have to tell you who's running the ad. The end of the ad says, paid for by MAGA Kentucky. It's not Kentuckians, I can tell you that. It's 3 billionaires have funded all of these ads. One is Miriam Adelson.
Whoops.
She's from Las Vegas and some casinos, and the other 2 are hedge fund managers from West Palm Beach and New York City. Why would 3 billionaires spend millions of dollars against a congressman in Kentucky? I can tell you this, dogs do not bark at parked cars. It's because
sometimes my dog does bark at parked cars, in all fairness. Swish said, be honest, anyone think JD can go that long? And Greg said, JD Vance, sectional abuser.
Because I am changing the narrative in Washington, D.C. There are congressmen up there, nobody ever knows their name. They might be there 10 or 20 years. But I have made a name not for being difficult, but for being principled. And I have the respect of my colleagues, and I can change opinion up there. And there are a few people upset about that. I'll tell you what the billionaires have in common. They are all mad at me because I will not vote for foreign aid. I believe we need to spend our money here in America.
I appreciate him telling it like it is, and maybe he's just being careful with his language. I think the other reason that at least one of those billionaires is funding these ads against him is because that billionaire's name is in the Epstein files. I'm trying to remember his name. It's the Palm Beach one, right? Do you guys know his name? Let me remember what his name was. I should have had that. My bad. Looking in the comments while I Google it. Paulson, that's right. Is it Paulson? Is it Reed Paulson? Yeah, that's who it was. Reed Paulson. Thank you. You guys are good at this.
So what's a few million to them, you know? Well, here's the fun part. They've been looking for 5 months and they can't find a candidate. They are looking for a warm body. Why would somebody not do this? It sounds like a great proposition. 3 billionaires are going to spend $20 million to get you elected. Do you want to be owned by 3 billionaires? Let me tell you what the 3 billionaires stand for. They have all given to pro-abortion Democrats. One of them did a fundraiser for Chuck Schumer. One of them donated the max donation to Liz Cheney after she voted to impeach Donald Trump. And one of them...
Is this such a good move by what is his damn name? Massey? This is such a good move. Not because that shit matters, but because it matters to these people. Like, he's using the buzzwords now. He said abortion and Chuck Schumer. Woohoo! That'll get you canceled in a hurry.
Funny enough, is in Epstein's black book. Wonder why he wants to spend money against me. These are the billionaires who, they aren't really Republican or Democrat. They're part of the uniparty. Whoever's in power, that's who they give the money to. That's who their friends are, and they look out for their friends. And they've been politically connected, and they have a lot of influence in Washington, D.C. But I don't think they're going to be able to fool people in Kentucky. I don't think they're going to have any influence here. And
all right. Hey, Robert, try and stay on subject, please. What is it with MAGA that they just like roll in and just like scream a talking point? Democrats shut down our government. Piece of shit. All right, just wait till we get there, bud. We'll get there. But we're talking about other things right now. Is that how you operate in your real life? Like, people are just having a conversation and you come in, the lights turned red. Okay. That's a weird thing you just did, dude. That was a very strange thing you just did as a human being. That you came into a live while we were showing a Republican talking about the people funding the anti-Massey campaign, and you went, ah! Democrats shut down the government. Chill, dude. Gotta chill. Just stay on subject, okay? We'll get there. I wanted to talk about this because somebody had brought this to my attention last time when we were watching Pete Hex at that lunatic, racist lunatic, dipshit racist lunatic who does the weirdest pull-ups I've ever seen in my life. If you remember, Pete Hegseth was talking about no more beardos, which was a weird way to say it. I think that's how you would say it to like a toddler. I've never heard anybody say beardo. I don't know if that's a military thing or not. But there's exemptions in the military for people with beards if they have like a medical condition. And here's this man to explain it.
So here's the deal. I'm going to be very frank when I say this. When you implement a policy, beards, that disproportionately affects a specific group of people more than others, then you implement another policy, baby hairs, that disproportionately affect the same demographic but the female equivalent. That's not a coincidence.
Wait, what are baby hairs? Chat? What, when they say baby hairs, what is that like? Is that like hairs that don't get pulled back that stay out? Can somebody explain what a baby hair is? Yeah, I'm not military, dipshit. That's why I'm playing a guy in the military. Fucking damn, tiny hairs around the hairline. Okay, the edges. Okay, thank you.
Coincidence. But I just want to know, very curious, what y'all doing about them suicide rates? What y'all doing about the growing sexual assault cases?
Not a goddamn thing. Because the guy running it loves sexually assaulting women. Why the fuck would he stop that? He wants more of that shit. In fact, if I listened correctly, he said they're going to go after the people who report the crime. That you don't get to be anonymous anymore. And that when you have stuff like this on your record, it's going to be expunged. It sounds like not only are they trying to get black people out of the military, but they also want to protect these good white nationalists who are just having a little fun sexually abusing women. That's what it sounds like to me.
Shark cases, if you will. Genuinely curious. We got all these changes going around. What are we doing about those? What are we doing about the sailor that just got unalived? Because folk wanted to sweep under the rug a predator that a ship failed to prosecute. And now we have a grieving family because folk failed to act. But we care so much about beards and baby hair, though.
Yeah, like, are we fucking kidding? It's 2025. Your Secretary of Defense gives a fuck about haircuts. Why? Why does it? I grew up in a cult where, like, we had a cult leader who talked about, like, what your hair had to be like. I was on a mission for 2 years, and my hair had to be a certain way. I had to have a certain dress code. You know why they do that? Because they want uniformity. They want ideological capture, and they want control. And so they want your dress standards so that they can control you. That's why. But Pete seems to have taken a very specific knock at hair. By the way, is Pete Hegseth's hair military approved? Seems a little long for me. Slicks it back. He's got that. Is that to hide his thinning hair? Let's give Pete Hegseth the real, like, a high and tight. Let's check that hairline, Pete. Why does Pete Hegseth get to hide everything with that haircut, and then these guys need to change it? But more importantly, are you fucking kidding me, MAGA? This is what your leadership does. This is what was so important. You had all these leaders fly across the country to tell them that. To get an understanding, I also have I'm never clean shaven. My beard hair is very curly, which is why I don't grow it out that often, because it just, like, poofs and you can't keep it in under control. But if I go clean shaven, the hairs, because they're curly, like, they don't grow straight out. They'll grow and they'll curl back under, and then they'll just create these bumps. Now, I don't get it severely, but here's what it looks like when somebody has this with a more severe case. The affliction is called pseudofolliculitis barbae, or PFB. Mainly affects black men. You'll get this a lot with, like, guys with red hair as well. But this is what it looks like. You see these, like, I don't even know what you call those, nodules. This is what forms because the hair grows inside and then it gets infected and it creates these bumps, and these bumps are really, really fucking uncomfortable. I've had them. So if I were to shave, like, my face and my neck, the next day it would just look I had an outbreak of acne all up and down my neck and my face. It's terrible. And even if you can, like, get in there, you've got to pull the hair out. But like, you just have another hair that's going to grow and do the same thing. It's not, you can't really treat it. And one of the things that Pete Hegseth said was, and I think this is going unreported, is he said, we'll have a medical treatment for this, but if after a year it's not cleared up, then you're done. You just have to leave the military. You guys want to lose people out of the military for, like, for their haircuts? It's because you shaved unhygienically? No, it's not. Goddamn, Michael, how many more dumb fucking things are you going to say today? That's what, you don't know that, because if you get razor burn, it's because you did it wrong, because your hair is different. People have different hair, dipshit. That's what happens to you when you've had it, because you're probably not hygienic. I'm going to guess that you struggle washing your ass. But there's a lot of people who, no matter what they do, I watch tons of videos. They say they've tried, like, dry shaving. They've tried, like, I use, when I do shave, if I have to shave tight up here, I'll use, like, a shaving cream that's not sensitive. I went to a straight razor where it's just one blade, because you don't want to have multiple blades, because that'll add irritant. You don't shave against the grain. You shave with the grain. I've tried it all. There's nothing you can do to stop it from this happening. And I don't get it nearly this bad. My hair's one, they're not that curly, and they're also, like, not as thick. But I get this. I understand why they're saying this. The truth is that Pete Hegseth is a racist. Pete Hegseth wants these people out of the militaries. Who else needs beards? Who else has waivers for beards? Muslims? What did Pete Hegseth say about Muslims? Kill all Muslims, not kill Muslims who are fighting against you, not kill jihadist Muslims, kill all Muslims. Sheikh, that's right. Sheikh. Sikh. Sheikh is the name. Yeah, Sikh. Sorry. Thank you. I think it's Sikh. Is Sheikh? I don't. Sikhs have waivers for beards and turbans. Sick. Who said sick? Berserker said that's called a three sombrero to JD Vance. Anyways, that's what this administration's up to. They're doing absolutely fucking nothing for you. It's not pronounced Sikh. It's pronounced sick. I thought it was Sikh. Now we got an argument on sick and Sikh. I think it's Sikh. It's sick. All right, hold on. We're gonna have to end this once and for all. I've always said Sikh. It says Sikh. It's telling me Sikh on Google. But then it says the right and real pronunciation is sick, which sounds like sick in English with more KH. Sikh. Sikh. Fuck, Google can't get it right either. All right, Quora is telling me it's sick. Google is saying it's Sikh. Here's a correct enunciation. There's a TikTok. Let's see.
Playing hide and seek, right? It's sick, and it's not Sikhism, it's Sikhi. That is the correct pronunciation of the religion. But due to colonization.
There we go. All right. Well, I'll trust him. It sounds correct. I want to show this clip before we get into ICE a little bit. One thing is certain about Tomi Lahren is she fucking hates her job. I don't think Tomi Lahren likes being like a real live villain. She's working for Outkick with Clay Travis, where they just show up every day angry about being victims. And she had on Crystal Ball here, and Crystal Ball wipes the floor with old Tomi Lahren here.
You think Bad Bunny's a good choice for the Super Bowl?
I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist. So
can we just talk about her face all the time? Like, do you have to? Do you have to do that? Could you smile?
Sure.
He's not an American artist, but
he's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear.
Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't believe that though. She's like, you know what I mean. We do know what you mean, Tommy. We know exactly what you mean. This MAGA, if you're here, you can bounce because I'm going to show an MSNBC logo. If you've got MSNBC on your bingo card, MAGA's going to have it. This is a segment Chris Hayes did on some of the activities from ICE in Chicago. I'll get. I was going to read the story about this, but apparently, what happened in Chicago is ICE came into an apartment building with 5 warrants for 5 different people. They raided the whole thing. They came in from the roof. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I saw today somebody said that they helicoptered in, which is fucking insane. But here's Chris Hayes explaining what's happening in Chicago.
We are getting new reports about a chilling and downright shocking escalation of ICE tactics against the residents of Chicago. In the middle of the night, hundreds of armed federal agents and police, backed up by riot trucks, smoke grenades, and helicopters, breached fences and busted doors in an immigration raid on an entire apartment building on the city's south side. They pulled dozens of residents from their homes and zip ties, including children, some of them without any clothes. They then held some outside for hours and dragged the others into rented vans.
Explain it to me, MAGA. Explain it to me. We all lose our rights because there's some people here that came here illegally. Now we all lose our rights. If you live near somebody who's here illegally, you all lose your rights. You all deserve in the middle of the night for somebody. I saw a story from this guy who said he has like a double lock somehow. I don't know what the lock situation is on his apartment, but he was explaining that like you can't kick the door in. But he woke up in the middle of the night to ICE trying to kick the door in, and then they just gave up. But now his door's all damaged. He was a citizen. We like this, Republicans? This is straight up Gestapo shit.
It was scary.
By the way, anybody celebrate? I don't believe anybody that's celebrating this. I think that you guys are just trolls. I don't believe any of you when you celebrate this. And I know that like if you guys even mildly are inconvenienced by the police, you go fucking full Karen and you post it online. Every one of you, if you were even just mildly inconvenienced, if you had a police pull you over for like tint, which is a misdemeanor, which is basically a civil infraction, or if you rolled through a stop sign, every last one of you, especially if it was like the cop happened to be a Democrat, every one of you, you'd post it, you'd write a whole story, you'd probably put up a GoFundMe. That GoFundMe would raise like $100,000 because you got mildly bothered by the police. But as long as it's like black and brown people, it's go ICE. Ty said, I'm in the Army, been in for about 8 years, and currently have a medical profile for my face. I'm a black man, and this is an attack on us. I'm scared. Yeah, that sucks, dude. I don't know what that would feel like. It's got to be a really like bizarre like conflict that you have, like internal conflict of, I joined the army, whether it was to like serve your country or just because you liked the benefits. I recognize people do it for different reasons, but you're there, you are serving the country, and for them to just put an all-out attack on like your facial hair, that has to be not only alarming and scary, but like it's got to give you really conflicted thoughts about how your country feels about you when you're putting on that uniform. Somebody pointed out before, like, I didn't put on that uniform. For the person who's critical of me, what do you say to the people that are in uniform and are being targeted? It's fine, because Pete Hegseth.
I've never had a gun put in my face.
Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
They zip tied the kids together. ICE put out a statement saying they were pursuing Trinidad gang members.
Of course, yeah. ICE can zip tie kids together. Israel can hold kids as hostage. None of you care about children. I only care about children if we're talking about trans people because I got a weird thing that I'm obsessed with. That's the only time I care about children. You think we need to zip tie children together in the middle of the night? None of those children, by the way, turned out to be here illegally. We just did it.
But U.S. citizens living in the building say they were detained too. The cops told them that if they had any unrelated warrants, they wouldn't be going back home. 37 people were ultimately arrested after agents separated children from their parents on the street. And if you're looking at this and asking yourself, how is this legal? That is the right question to ask.
I'm asking
it. It has kind of an answer. And to understand it, you have to go back to Los Angeles this summer, where federal immigration agents started pushing the envelope on orders from the White House. They raided Home Depot parking lots and Walmart lots, and they grabbed people they saw.
If you remember this one, this was just a guy recording. He was a legal citizen. He was working at Walmart, and they went after like his friend who was also a legal citizen. They cuffed, detained, and threw them both into a car, and then they just released them. As soon as Trump's gone, like, do you know how many millions and millions and probably billions of dollars we're going to have to spend settling lawsuits? All of these douchebag wannabe cops who I don't remember who it was the other day, so I don't want to take credit for this. But somebody was talking. It was an actual soldier. I think it might have just been on YouTube, and it was a podcast. But he's like, all these people that are joining ICE, like, these aren't soldiers. These are people who've been playing Call of Duty in their mom's basement for 20 years, and now they get this opportunity because ICE has literally no standards. You just show up, bring your own weapon, bring your own uniform, bring your own hat, bring your own ideas, and we'll give you a signing bonus. So you just got a bunch of like untrained, dipshit, angry people who are out there cosplaying war, and we're gonna spend billions of dollars in settlements against not only excessive force against people who are here illegally, but people who are also here legally. Lawful permanent residents, born in America residents. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. And it's gonna cost us billions of dollars. Somebody asked, like, what does it cost for each immigrant? I remember at one point it was like $14,500 is what it cost. That was their rate of how much it costs to deport one immigrant. That was when I debated, I think, Andrew Wilson. So that was a few months ago. I could update the numbers. It's got to be higher than that now. I heard they get training. Where? Who's training them? If they're getting training, that's worse.
Home Depot, masked agents with batons grabbed Narcisco Barranco, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 30 years,
That guy just covering his face here. This is why you're going to get sued. See, watch this guy just covering his face, and they punch him in the face to get his hand.
People they saw. Near one Home Depot, masked agents with batons
He's just covering his face.
grabbed
Move it.
Narciso
Punch again.
Barranco, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 30 years and has 3 sons serving in the Marine Corps. Agents beat Barranco on the ground, dislocating his shoulder before detaining him. In Van Nuys, agents raided a car wash, remembering this, sending patrons and workers scrambling before the 79-year-old owner, who is a U.S. citizen named Rafi, tried to ask them what they were doing.
That is when Rafi was taken down by agents and eventually...
That's illegal. They can't fucking do this. Who the fuck have you guys become that you just sit back and watch this? Stop pretending that you're not Nazi Germany. For honest to God, stop pretending. You guys are literally in uniforms, taking down American citizens, breaking the law every fucking day. And the only reason they're allowed to still do it is because Trump says, we control the DOJ, we control the FBI, we're never going to investigate any of this shit. You guys do whatever the fuck you want, we do not care. So they are. As an American citizen, do you think you don't have the right, if ICE raids your place of business, to ask them a question without being slammed to the ground? Can you tell them to go fuck themselves? Can you call them little bitches? You sure as fuck can. At least you used to be able to. The masturbatory way in which you guys celebrate this is sick. This is why America's not a great country anymore. Because not only shit like this, but you guys that sit by and watch this shit happen. It should be enough to watch them. It should be enough for you to watch somebody who's here illegally get treated like this. That should be enough if you're human. But you guys are like a little bit subhuman. And so you only seem to ever care when it's American citizens. But now it's American citizens and you're like, I don't care. And by the way, it's only going to get worse. People aren't going to put up with this shit. People are going to fight ICE. Somebody in ICE is going to wind up hurt. And then it's all-out war. As soon as somebody actually hurts somebody in ICE, it is going to be an all-out war. Stephen Miller and Donald Trump will hit the airwaves 12 seconds later and say, the gloves are off. We were playing nice, but we're not anymore. That's the place that we're at right now. This is not going to end peacefully. And imagine being on the side of it and goes, I love being on the side of the police and the federal government. I love it. Look at them. They're slamming people, taking away their rights. Oh, I love that. That's who the right has become. Just openly celebrating an organization that was made to track down terrorists now beating on American citizens.
Handcuffed. Rafi says he was injured in the process.
And they sit on me. It's in my elbow since a week ago. And it's in my arm.
Rafi says he and 5 others at his car wash were taken to a federal detention center downtown. We're still working to learn more about why they were detained.
And that man...
Not allowed. They're not allowed to detain anybody that's a citizen. They're not allowed to arrest people who aren't citizens. They certainly aren't allowed to go put them in a facility, and yet they're doing it, and you guys are celebrating it.
Is not alone.
Look how you got my hand. You're twisting that. I'm American, bro. Yo, these guys are literally based off of skin color. My homie was born here just because of the way he looks.
Agents kept stopping people they suspected of being undocumented immigrants for no reason other than they weren't.
Don't tread on me. Tread on me. No means yes.
Obviously white.
Hey, Pat, 2 has 2 O's in that sentence. So you're fucking stupid, by the way. When we insult me and we use words incorrectly, maybe we think about that.
Like Brian Gavidia, the man you saw there, the 29-year-old American. He wasn't arrested, but he says agents went through his phone for 20 minutes and kept his real ID card. Now, these are obvious violations of people's core constitutional civil rights.
No, this isn't hyperbolic at all, actually. When you say we're not the ones who celebrate the destruction of our cities, that's not a thing that fucking happens. This thing that we're talking about is happening. The thing you're talking about isn't happening. You are hyperbolic. The cities have not been destroyed. No city has been destroyed. None. Zero. Zip. Fucking zero. I'm showing you videos of what's happening. I'm showing you videos of ICE agents slamming American citizens to the ground, detaining them and arresting them. And you're like, that's a bit hyperbolic when you consider that all major cities on the left have been burned down. Oh, okay. That's hyperbolic. What you guys say about Antifa and BLM, that's hyperbole. That's hyperbolic. That shit's not happening. I've been to BLM protests where Antifa was there and where people got in fights. It was fine. It was fine. Yeah, they've destroyed a little bit of property. I think your rights as an American citizen to not be detained, harassed, and beat on by the police is more important than property destruction. But you guys don't, unless it was reversed. Unless this was reversed. You just know, like, I'm a white guy. I don't have to deal with any of this stuff. This will never happen to me. Plus, if I showed up, I'd just take my dick out and start beating it. They would know that I'm with them. Because I'd be like, look, I got my dick out. So hurry, get somebody so I can finish. Of course you're not. Of course you're safe there. But don't talk to me about hyperbole when you have all these bitch-ass Republicans at the top. Our country is under attack. Our country's being attacked from the enemy from within. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's so tough. It's so tough out there. I was just in Portland where you guys sent in the National Guard. We got people here in Chicago that are walking those streets every fucking day. You guys are the most scared, thin-skinned, fragile bunch of bitches I've ever seen in my life. You are making up problems so that you can justify the government abusing people. And you're like, that's, you know what, we don't like it, but we're standing for justice. What about you on the left? I don't know. I think the left's fine. I think if you want to criticize Antifa, let me just tell you what I think about like the people that from Antifa, the ones that like are camped out. I think that most of them are kind of weird, and I think they're kind of LARPers, and I think mostly they're doing nothing. I think mostly they're just like taking over city blocks with people, and the police look at them, they're like, Jesus Christ, like they're just yelling. Like I do think Antifa's weird, to be honest. I don't think that they do much good. I don't think that I think that they get to be the boogeyman for all of you. I watch these videos of Antifa. I watch the police. They're not tough. They're not fighting. They're gonna get wrecked by the police if they get in a fight. They're gonna get wrecked in a fight with virtually anybody. I do think that people in general, like, we find causes and we find unity, and we find community, and I think that's what you see with Antifa. Is you see a bunch of people who are very far left in terms of like they believe everybody should have equal rights, that you should be able to dress however you want, you should be able to identify however you want, that race shouldn't matter. That if you're a furry and you want to publicly be a furry, they think that's okay. And so I think that those people are just like so frustrated with the state of our world that they find a collective in other Antifa people, and they get together, and that unity creates a more common cause that like they're more likely to advocate for. Independently, they're not going to do it, but that's exactly why Donald Trump wants to take them down, is because he's looking out there and he's finding unity, and he's also seeing the American people start to side far more with Antifa than they are with him. More people are upset with ICE and Donald Trump than Antifa right now. But yeah, I agree. I don't think they're doing a lot of good. And then you get a bunch of right-wing commentators and content creators and groups, and then they're like, "Oh, this isn't fair. Antifa's getting all the attention, so I'm going to go in there with a goddamn fucking camera crew, and I'm going to be a MAGA content creator IRL, and I'm going to get in there and I'm going to get in their face, and then when they get mad and they push me, then I'm going to post it online, and I'm gonna be like, look at me, I'm such a victim. Look what they've done to me." I'll have some videos in a minute. I think all of you are fucking weird for what you're doing. But the reality is, this is beyond weird. This isn't Antifa. This isn't MAGA. This is our federal government being used against American citizens who have committed no crime, and they are being legitimately beat up, arrested, and thrown into facilities without committing a crime. So that's what I'm upset about. I'm not really that worried about Antifa or these MAGA dipshits who keep going and picking fights with them. Like, you guys are all kind of weird. You should probably all fucking knock it off, and you won't. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time defending either of those groups of people, because I've never seen a video of Antifa running into MAGA, and I'm like, oh, one side clearly was doing the right thing. None of them are. They're all there to get a clip of somebody being abused or somebody saying something awful, and so that they can all run to social media and post it and be like, see? And the reality is, like, that's American on American crime or American on American fighting. That's allowed. That's freedom of speech. That's freedom of assembly. I'm not going there, but they're allowed to do that. And the MAGA content creators that go there and try and bother them, they're also allowed to do that. All of that stuff is protected by our Constitution, but this shit isn't. And this is the only shit you guys don't want to talk about. You want to talk about Antifa. You want to talk about protests or riots. But what you don't want to talk about is that your taxpayer money is being used to go after people who have committed no fucking crime at all. That's what I'm upset about. I usually rail against the government. There's not a lot I can do about American citizens. You guys are allowed to go out there and protest. If you get punched in the face, you get punched in the face. File charges, do your thing. I'm fine with all of that. But like, I'm not going to sit there and pretend that that is somehow a bigger problem than ICE running around abusing their authority and arresting people. Fuck Donald J. Trump said this is a matter of victimized reactions to victimizers' actions. Agreed. Burned out medic said insecure men are attracted to uniform jobs. Facts. Jerry Mandarin said my rights may be less, but at least we own the libs. Asta Sophia said Republicans, excuse me, party of MAGA is the party of violence. It seems to be. Like, you're not condemning any of this violence. Danielle said MAGAs don't care that U.S. citizens are being taken to. Greg said, I started putting on that uniform in 1989 and shaving profiles were not a problem. Were not a problem men then. It's simply racism by the current administration.
Equal protection and the freedom from unlawful searches and seizures.
And
victims filed a class action lawsuit. And after an entire bench trial, a federal judge sided with those victims and ended the ICE sweeps. And in her ruling, she wrote...
Oh, shit. Sorry. I need to check these two. Chrissy said, has Jay seen the AI Grim Reaper video Trump posted? Yeah, I'm just choosing not to address it. I think it's a waste of time. I'm not surprised Trump's doing it. He's trying to get a rise out of everybody. I want that. I want his bullshit getting less airtime. Cam said, I'm here. We made dumb mistakes and beat ourselves. It happens. Crazy that refinery explosion was half a mile from my work. If I wasn't off, I'd have likely been driving on the street next to it around that time. That is crazy. Glad you're safe. Samantha said, thanks for fixing the hoodie stream. Now I can hear what you're saying. The Trump Epstein statue is back on the Great Lawn. I saw that this morning. I love that. I hope they just keep doing it. All right. I think did I get all those? Yeah, I think I got them all.
It is illegal to conduct roving patrols which identify people based upon race alone, aggressively question them, and then detain them without a warrant, without their consent, and without reasonable suspicion that they are with status. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. An appeals court upheld her injunction against ICE. You have to stop doing this. And so the Trump administration took the issue to the Supreme Court. And lo and behold, last month, the court's 6-3 conservative majority voted to just let Trump and ICE continue for now as the case works its way up to use racial profiling in their immigration raids, halting the lower court's decision, saying...
I wish you would have phrased that a little differently. Basically, what they said is, like, we're not going to rule on this. But again, the tread on me crowd, like, ICE isn't supposed to do any of this stuff. So I don't know why we're celebrating it.
Now, they gave no reasoning or explanation for their decision, silent, except Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who wrote a short concurring opinion saying there's absolutely no problem whatsoever with racially motivated stops by law enforcement. Quote,
okay.
If the officers learn the individual they stopped is a U.S. citizen or otherwise lawfully in the U.S., they promptly let the individual go.
They don't seem to. They seem to be throwing them in jail, Kavanaugh. Seems like they're not just letting people go. Seems like they're detaining them, throwing them in the back of cars, and taking them down to a detention facility. Why? Because that might take somebody who's on the fence standing up to ICE, and they're like, I don't have time to deal with this shit. It's all about intimidation.
To the era of what critics call the Kavanaugh stop. Carte blanche for ICE to continue violent, warrantless raids and stops all over the country to undocumented immigrants, lawful residents, and American citizens alike. Like Leonardo Garcia Venegas. You see him there, being cuffed roughly by ICE agents on a construction site where he was working, Vargas showed the agents his real ID as proof of citizenship, and they told him he was lying. And it took hours to get him out of custody. So not.
Hey, can I make one suggestion to those in the chat today? The Republicans that keep coming in here and talking about everything but what we're talking about, that's for a reason. This is deeply unpopular. Don't let them distract you right now. I know that we all like to debate. I know we like to fight. But if they're coming in here today and they're talking about all this other shit, if they're talking about January 6th, or they're talking about trans people, ignore them. Make them sit here with this. Make them talk about this. All that other shit is a distraction. Make them talk about this. This is a man who provided his ID to ICE, and they said, "Fuck you, you're lying." And then they threw him to the ground, beat him, and took him to jail. Focus on let's focus. Keep making MAGA Republicans talk about this. And if they talk about something else, it's fun. It's fun because everything they say is fucking stupid. So it's like, all right, I'll dunk on you for this other thing, and we'll come back to it. They'll never come back to it. Force them to address this. Force them to put words on the screen that say like, oh yeah, this is great. This is an American citizen who gave his ID. Remember, Brett Kavanaugh said, oh, just be a quick stop, show your ID, and then you're on your way. Nope, showed his ID. They said, you're lying. They threw him to the ground with 3 men. They cuff him or zip tie him and throw him in jail. Make them talk about it. It's time. Like, these are the brown shirts. These are the groups rounding people up, and they're not just rounding up people who are here illegally. They're going after American citizens. Force them to talk about it.
Exactly expeditious. And then get this, 2 weeks later, ICE arrested him again at another work site. He's now suing the government. The consequence
and he's
of all
going to win
is what we're seeing.
That's crazy. But even when you say like I can go get a fake ID, yeah, but his wasn't fake.
Seeing now in the dead of night in Chicago. Dozens of federal agents raiding an entire apartment building with kids in it just to see what they can find. It's the most egregious abuse of our basic rights as Americans I've seen in a long time, maybe my lifetime.
Welcome back, Kirsten. It's nice to have you back. I'm glad you got the help you needed.
And it comes 2 weeks after Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem posted a hype video of another violent ICE raid with helicopters and grenades, this time on a house in the Chicago suburbs. And guess what? 2 U.S. citizens were mistakenly arrested.
Oh.
You know, there's a reason the American founders put the right to be free from unlawful searches and seizures in the Bill of Rights from the start. Masked secret police.
I think we're gonna fix Venezuela's like debt problem just when all of these people sue the United States government. Like Venezuela's gonna be in good shape. It's what they should probably do.
Profiling people and now targeting entire apartment buildings, making everyone prove they're not guilty of something, is the province of tyrants. It is the opposite of American. And I don't think Americans will stand for it, nor should they.
We'll see. Like I said, it's getting more and more unpopular. Ben said terrible things are happening outside at any time of night and day. Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. If you don't know, that is a Anne Frank quote. It's happening here. Q said, check Sun Times article for double locked door story. Oh shit! What did I just do? How'd you do that? They or someone came back and ransacked. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that part. You said it was from Sun Times. I forgot about that part. Thank you. I read it yesterday and I didn't have an outline yet, so I didn't add it. And then I forgot about that part, so I didn't go back and look for it. Is it this one? Yeah, Dan Jones was jolted awake at 1 a.m. Tuesday to the sound of federal agents trying to break through his apartment door. They couldn't get past his double lock, so he went back to bed. But when he woke up hours later for work, he walked out and found broken doors littering the hallway, and his neighbors were missing. Jones, 27, is among the residents at 7500 South Shore Drive who are trying to piece together what remains after an early morning high-powered federal immigration raid led to the arrests of dozens of their neighbors at the South Shore apartment building. Armed federal agents in military fatigues. By the way, dozens. They only had 5 warrants. So I don't even know. Like, you could just arrest people without warrants, I guess, if they find out that they're not documented. But do we even know if those people are documented or not? Armed federal agents in military fatigues busted down their doors overnight, pulling men, women, and children from their apartments, some of them naked. Residents and witnesses said agents approached or entered nearly every apartment in the 5-story building, and U.S. citizens were among those detained for hours. When he got home from work, Jones said he entered his unit to find all of his electronics and furniture missing, and all of his clothes and shoes thrown on the floor. Jones said he had no idea who took his belongings and hadn't received answers from Chicago police. I'm pissed off, Jones said. I feel defeated because the authorities aren't doing anything. On Wednesday, toys, shoes, and food were still in piles in the building's hallway. You can see here. Now, I can imagine that there's I don't know that you would necessarily accuse ICE agents, but if they've broken down these doors, they take people and they leave, and these doors are opened, yeah, people may go and steal from these apartments. Is that but no fault of the ICE agents, right? That's fine. It's fine for all of these residents who live there to have all their stuff stolen, because at least we got some people here who are undocumented out of there, right? The Department of Homeland Security said federal agents with Border Patrol, the FBI, and the Bureau, ATF, arrested 37 people in the raid. DHS said some of those arrested are believed to be involved in drug trafficking and distribution, weapons crimes, and immigration violators. Feds also claimed the South Shore neighborhood was a location known to be frequented by Tren de Aragua. I've mentioned this before, but like I've been rewatching The Wire, and I'm at the part of The Wire where all the cops, everything got defunded, so all the cops are just like dirty now. They're just like, they're planting evidence and they're making shit up, and like innocent people are being harmed. That's where we're at right now with MAGA, where you guys have just said to hell with it. Like, it's so important that we get people who are undocumented out that we're just going to arrest United States citizens. Ham said, First They Came is a great poem that all Americans should read and consider during this time. Hey, Jen. Let me read a couple other ones that are coming in. Francis says, oh, no, I read that one. Brianna said, don't worry, Dems sent a strongly worded letter to Trump who can't read. That'll fix it. We will win. It was just a recording of Chuck Schumer. We will win. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. It's good to see Democrats doing nothing. Ben said terrible things are happening out. Oh, I read that one. That was the Anne Frank one. Amy said, love your debates. Thanks for all your knowledge. Thank you, Amy. Hey, Jen, what's up?
Hey, I don't know if you've been paying attention much to TikTok chat. I think you have. There's some questions about Antifa specifically.
What about it?
You're discussing it like Antifa is an actual organization that is being ran, and a lot of the people in the TikTok comments were trying to get your attention.
I don't think I'm doing that.
You kind of gave it like, what Antifa was doing. Kind of did a little bit.
They call themselves Antifa, and I'm saying what the people that call themselves Antifa are doing. I don't know. But how do you want me to address that differently?
I think it gave the impression that it has an organization with a leader, that it has...
Did I say there was an organization with a leader?
The impression it came across as.
How do you give the impression that there's an organization with a leader without saying it's an organization without a leader? I'm talking about specifically these people who label themselves Antifa, that I'm watching videos of, that they call themselves Antifa. Listen, it's crazy. You guys can explain this. This one's weird. This is one of those things. This happens every time we debate. Where like this is another example. Like, what are we focused on here? All right. I mean, you guys can be mad, I guess. I don't know what I said. What did I say? What are you guys upset about?
I think one of the things that I heard was that Antifa isn't doing anything that they're going out to do when they're protesting or doing arguments, that they weren't doing anything that was beneficial.
I'm talking about these specific groups. I don't think they're doing anything beneficial. I don't think that these people in Portland are doing anything that's like that beneficial. I think I'll just kind of like, I mean, have they changed? Has anything changed? I don't know. This is weird, guys. Like, we got to stop. This is, I feel like I do feel like I'm pretty open-minded. I apologize all the time for things I say wrong, and I'm sorry if you got that impression, but I don't know. If somebody could show me, I don't even know what to apologize for here. I have no idea. No, listen, Juju, I am Antifa. I say it all the fucking time. All of you that don't like fascists are Antifa. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that call themselves Antifa. I was very specific. I said, like, the MAGA people come and they go to these protests, and there's like these counter protests, and they argue with each other. I don't know, guys. Sometimes we get a little stingy on the left. I even see that, like, language matters. Yeah, it does matter. No, I don't know if there's harm that's being committed there. Antifa is an idea, not an organization. That's what people are saying. Not a huge deal. Yeah, we all know. How many times have I said that on this stream? Like, you guys are here. Minnesota Pride, take what criticism? I'm asking for what criticism? Minnesota Pride Mama, let's talk. Let's talk about it. I'm asking you what criticism do you want me to say? Like, I don't even know what I said. Let's do this, because like this does get old. Let me just tell you a little bit of frustration with our side. Yes, I'm being defensive. I am, because I don't know. What do you want me to do? I could be defensive. We can't be defensive now. Oh God, you think I played into MAGA's ideals? Okay, this is crazy. So I'm just waiting. Like, I'm open. I just want to know, like, how to message it differently. I don't know how to message this differently. No, I want to know, guys. Don't tell me to keep going. Like, I just want to know. You guys know who I am. I do this all the time. If the chat's upset about something, let's talk about it. But I don't really know what to change right now. I don't know what you're telling me it was that was so wrong. Sleep on it? Sleep on what? I'm asking you what? What am I sleeping on? I don't remember what I said 10 minutes ago. I never know the exact words. I misstep on my words all the time. Stop blaming. Nobody's blaming Antifa. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. All right, well, let's just do this then. Let's do this, because I'll go to this story. All right. This lady's name is Katie Daviscourt. Now, Katie Daviscourt sucks. She was there at Jan 6. She went on Jesse Waters. She was in Portland, and she showed up with a weird filter that makes her look like a zombie. You'll see I have other pictures of her. And here's the video I came across this morning.
The post-millennial journalist attacked by Antifa. Wow, that is quite a shiner. You all right?
Oh, yeah, I definitely have a black eye. So that's what it's been like covering Portland for the past 4 months. Complete lawlessness.
Wow. They say it's just one city block. Is that even true?
That's not true. So it went from being
Okay. So I saw that the clip here was, is she AI? Because it does look weird. Like, it's obviously a weird filter. I went back and you can see, like, the night of the injury. Here's what it looks like. This is what she looked like the night of the injury. I don't really know how the bruising works. That looks minimal. It's this little scratch right here. There doesn't seem to be any, like, real red mark or bruising or swelling here. So I don't know if it's makeup. I don't know if it would swell that way. Like, around your eye is very sensitive. But here's the here's the video.
Don't hit me. Oh, fuck! She just hit me in the face.
All right. She assaulted her. Like, she's going to be arrested for assault. This is exactly what I said. I said these people go in, they agitate, they get assaulted, and then they make a video about it, and it makes everything that Antifa's doing, or these people that call themselves Antifa, or these groups of people, it makes them look bad, and then we defend it. She assaulted her. She did. She shouldn't have done it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I doubt she winds up getting like a felony arrest. She hit her with the stick. She hit her in the eye. And now that lady gets to go on all over the news, and she gets to have a black eye, and she's going to force you and us to either say like that was wrong or defend this person. I'm not going to defend this person. I'm not defending somebody who just whacked her in the face with a stick. When I say they're not doing anything, what are they doing? What is she helping right now? I'm not going to blindly defend this shit. It was stupid. It's not even like it's not a big assault. She whacked her in the face with the pole. She's going to look bad. She's going to make these people look bad. Donald Trump's going to post this all over the internet, and then they're going to come after the people in Portland. They'll be like, "Oh, these people are all abusive." I don't want those videos to exist. I think that was a dumb thing that this person did. I think it was a very dumb thing that this person did. Don't do that. If you're going to go and you're going to protest ICE and somebody comes there to instigate and talk shit to you, you're out there at a protest. People are going to say mean shit. You're probably saying mean shit to ICE. The same way that like when ICE attacks these folks and I say, "So what, ICE? Toughen up." You love that. When we call ICE bitches and say like, "Toughen up," deal with it when somebody says something mean to you. I can't then turn around and be like, if somebody says something mean to you, you can hit them. So I'm saying like I don't think what they're doing is helpful. So I guess if that's what you're upset about, that's fine. I don't think that this shit is helpful. I think if they want to go protest in front of ICE, I think that's good. I think that having a place where people can come and shout and congregate and not hurt people is good. I think that assembly and that speech is good. I think it has positive effects. I think it makes ICE people hate their job. I want the people of ICE to hate their job. I want them to feel like they're constantly being watched. I want them every time they walk out to have people call them a traitorous bitch. I want all of that. But when something like this happens, it just gives the right, specifically Donald Trump, the ability to say, "Oh, they're violent," and then the people who aren't watching this in real time are going to say, "Oh yeah, that's violence." And then if you get somebody who goes on TV and they're like, "Oh well, that lady was at January 6th," doesn't matter. Still don't get to hit them with a stick. So that's what I was talking about. If you're welcome to DM me if you have problems with the language I use. I don't know exactly what language I used. Maybe I used a word that the way I framed it was awkward or misleading. And if somebody clipped it, let me know. But if you've been here long enough, I think I should have some leeway that when I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong. I just need to know what I did. Otherwise, I don't know what to change. Barbara said, "I watch you every day, but I finally get to watch you live. Thank you for all your work." Thanks, Barbara. Jessica said, "Weekly tithe." And Brianna said, "TikTok has a lot of crazies." Look, it's just a time. Like people are frustrated and people are on edge. And I would say like if you're on the left, like it is tiresome being lied about. It's tiresome of having everything framed in a way by this administration that's patently dishonest. So I get that. I understand that people are on edge, but again, if you have where you think I misstepped, just DM it to me. I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to talk about that. Moving on. I do good on CNN for this though. Trump now, you probably saw the tweet, but Trump now is like openly talking about Russ Vought being the author of Project 2025. And I love that CNN did this.
Speaking of Trump, he said this morning that I have a meeting today with Russ Vought of Project 2025 fame. Of course, that was the project that Democrats demonized, went after hard in the campaign, saying, "Look at this," and they tried to campaign very hard on that. And then Donald Trump, when he was running for the second term, said, "Well, this Project 2025 thing, I don't really know much about it."
Some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know.
It used to be the severe right. Isn't that weird how he used to label it the severe right?
I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
Project 2025, I've said 100 times, I know nothing about it. I had nothing to do.
And today, meeting of
Russ, vote of Project 2025 fame.
Fame. You know, I mean, I think it's another example of voters having to be sober-minded about the choice that was made in November 2020 and the effects of that choice. Elections have consequences. Even if they didn't believe or they chose to believe what President Trump said, the writing was on the wall that Project 2025 was really going to guide and shape this administration, and we're seeing that. The question now is, how will voters respond in the midterms and then moving forward?
Yeah, one thing is.
There we go. It was obvious then, it's obvious now. What they're going to do, by the way, I haven't seen much reaction from the right on this. I think they're going to do what they did during the election. They're just going to pretend it's not happening. They're going to pretend that like they're just going to ignore that Trump tweeted this stuff out. Danielle said it really seems like you were misunderstood. Maybe I don't want to cause this division in the chat. I know that we are divided, but please understand, like, I will absolutely apologize. I just don't know what to apologize for. So please, if you have it, you can go back, you can rewind this, you can clip it, screen record it, and send it to me. I'm happy to fix any language that was problematic, but let's stop fighting with each other in the chat. People are mad at me. Let's not. If somebody's mad at me, they're allowed to be mad at me. Don't go after them. Don't argue amongst each other. Just I'll talk to them. They can talk to me. Nobody's mad at you guys. This is if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. Let's not fight each other over that. I wanted to show this. This was crazy. So this is from a New York Times article. David Frum posted this, and he said, like, to say the Trump administration is the most corrupt administration in American history doesn't begin to do justice to what's happening. This is just a part of that article. As Steve Witkoff, Trump's envoy to the Middle East, conducted delicate ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas this year, his son Alex was on another mission. He was quietly soliciting billions of dollars from some of the same governments whose representatives were involved in peace talks with his father. Alex Witkoff pitched Qatar, a mediator in the Gaza talks and a key U.S. ally in the Middle East, on a planned investment fund focused on commercial real estate projects in the United States, according to a spokesperson for Qatar's sovereign wealth fund. He later wooed prospective investors by telling them that he had already secured pledges of billions of dollars from government-affiliated funds in Qatar, the UAE, and Kuwait, according to people familiar with his pitches who are not authorized to speak publicly. The real estate fund had the potential to yield hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue for the Witkoff Group, which Steve Witkoff founded in 1997. He remains a partial owner of the company after selling a portion of his stake this year, making a fortune. The amount of people in Donald Trump's orbit that are making an absolute fortune off of selling influence. Remember, like, we did 4 years of Hunter Biden. We did 4 years of Hunter Biden is running a criminal enterprise and selling influence. Jared Kushner, by the way, Jared Kushner, who's helping negotiate this deal with Qatar, did you know that he can't get security clearance? Remember when Trump signed that executive order when he first came into office that basically said we can push out security clearance, that the president can just give people security clearance even if they don't pass a background check, and that lasts for, I think, 90 days? That's what they're doing with Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner could not, will not, has not passed a background security clearance because he obviously has deals with all of these countries. And Trump just said, fuck it. Do we still have Republicans here? I want to know, Republicans, tell me the difference between what Hunter Biden did and what Jared Kushner did. Because as far as I can tell, the main differences are, 1, Jared Kushner is getting a lot more money. 2, Jared Kushner had an official role in the previous White House. 3, he has a role in this White House. 4, he's negotiating deals. Hunter didn't do any of those things. It appears to me that Hunter just went out there and was like, hey, you know who my dad is? And they're like, yeah. He's like, well, you might want to give me some money because I could hook you up. For 4 years, we had to talk about that. For 4 years, you guys wouldn't shut the fuck up about Hunter Biden. And now you have all gone radio silent on Jared Kushner. How about the 2 Trump sons? Got $2 billion for World Liberty Financial. No big deal. Trump's made $10 billion plus from this presidency, and we're not going to talk about it. This is just a pride thing. This is just you guys not admitting that you were wrong about something. That's it. You all thought Hunter Biden was going to jail. He's not. You're watching Trump do exactly what you accused Hunter Biden of doing, and you're like, oh, yeah, let's talk about anything but that. Anything but that. Meanwhile, we've got a flotilla who's cruising through the ocean, terrified that they're going to be blown to bits by Israel. But some good news. This is how crazy it is in Palestine. Look at how happy these people are because the Israeli military was so focused on whether or not they were going to murder people trying to bring aid that the Palestinians had an opportunity to go fishing. That's actually pretty cool. W fish. There actually was just 3 fish, and then Jesus came and he turned it into all the fish. That's actually what I understand is what happened there. I showed you the Davenport lady. Let's get to the government shutdown. First, I want to show you some polling from Harry Enton. And this is why we have to continue talking government shutdown, but it doesn't matter. Americans know, like Americans aren't all stupid. They know who's in charge. They know that Trump has the White House. They know Republicans have the House and the Senate, and they know the Supreme Court. They know where we're at. So they know where the blame's going to come. Leanne said, Antifa chat, chill. It's fine. They can do what they can do whatever. Here we go.
Who do Americans blame more? They blame Republicans. The New York Times, by 7 points, they blame Republicans in Congress and Donald Trump. Marist, look at that. Blame Trump and Republicans by 12 points. How about Washington Post? By a 17-point margin. When you look at the data, what you're actually seeing is that more Americans are blaming Republicans than Democrats, which I think really goes against the conventional wisdom because a lot of folks are saying, hey, Democrats are so divided. But at this particular point, Americans are placing the blame on the Republican shoulders, at least the plurality of them are.
All right, so looking at this, does this match up to what we see historically? Like, how is this different or the same?
Yeah, this is what I think is so notable here is we can go back.
Yeah, can't pass it without 7 Dems. So negotiate, right? So negotiate. That's what, see, Americans aren't stupid. You can't say that, like, Democrats just need to give in. That's why Americans are blaming this on Republicans, because if you need 7 Democrats to vote with you, then you have to negotiate. There has to be give and take. But they're admitting, I just saw Caroline Levitt. She said, we're not negotiating. We're not doing that. No, we're going to get what we want. And Democrats are going to capitulate. If one side of the aisle is saying, let's negotiate, and the other side of the aisle is saying, fuck you, this is your fault, we're not negotiating with you, you just have to do it, the American people get to determine who's at fault, and the American people are speaking. And it's obviously Republicans. How can you be the party that refuses to negotiate and also goes out every single day and lies about what the Democrats are asking for? They're getting crushed on TV. Every time Mike Johnson or any Republican is going on TV, from Fox News to CNN, MSNBC, across the spectrum, they are getting absolutely destroyed because everybody's reading what Democrats proposed and everybody realizes it had nothing to do with illegal immigration. And Mike Johnson is still saying it. The White House is still saying it. Some people, like Jim Jordan, they're walking it back now. Jim Jordan's not even talking about illegal immigration anymore. He's actually being accurate with his language. He's talking about parolees. He's not talking about illegal immigration. It's even a bridge too far. If it's a bridge too far for Jim Jordan, like, you've gone way too far. And Americans just aren't as stupid as MAGA. They don't just, like, MAGA, even MAGA, you all know that you're wrong here. You all know that you guys have the power, and you all know that nobody on your side is willing to negotiate. You just don't take blame for things because before anything, MAGA's guiding principle is never be accountable. Never admit that you did something wrong. Never admit something was your fault. Never back down. Never give an inch, which is not how our government was created. Our government is made by design so that people have to negotiate. Nobody ever gets what they want. Not totally. You always have to negotiate. That was by design. So when Republicans say, we just need you guys to agree with us or nothing.
Over time, and this is actually a pretty familiar story. What are we talking?
This is what's great. There's James with the CNN. James, these are all polls from, none of them are CNN, real quick. New York Times, Marist, WAPO. But again, that's what Republicans do. They just complain about the sources.
story. What are we talking about here?
You got bingo.
Blame more at the
Congratulations,
start of
Dolphin.
Shutdowns, 95, 96. They blame the Republicans more by 16 points. 2013.
Sorry, yeah, you're right, Eli. Can't say Americans aren't stupid when we voted into this disaster. They're not as stupid as we thought. There was still some deniability for people to vote for Trump. We thought it was obvious, but there was like some wiggle room. There's no wiggle room anymore.
Blame the Republicans more by 10 points. 2018, 2019, blame the Republicans more by 14 points. And right now, on the average poll, you see that the American public are blaming Republicans more by 12 points than Democrats. So this actually lines up with what we've seen historically. When the government goes in the shutdown, at least in prior occasions, and in this one, what we see is that more Americans are likely to blame Republicans than Democrats, which again, it's why the polling right now doesn't exactly strike me as surprising, despite the fact that Democrats might be messy. Republicans are the ones who are getting more blame because that is what has happened, at least historically speaking.
And also because Democrats are like, look, they have all three branches of government.
Correct.
You know,
that's exactly. I think that's so notable, right? It's the Republicans are the ones who have the House, the Senate, and of course the presidency.
Yeah. All right. So what about, at the beginning versus the end of these shutdowns? Because things get really awful for so many people. People notice the services are cut, but you also have the big furloughs. What do you see there?
Yeah, I think this is notable, right? I think there might be a lot of Republicans who would say, okay, these are early days yet, right? This is early days yet. But what happens at the end of the shutdown? Does, in fact, the blame change? Well, historically speaking, no. Who gets the blame at the start of the shutdown has ended up being the ones who get the blame at the end of the shutdown. 95, 96, GOP. 2013, GOP. 2018, GOP. Look, it's early days yet. Maybe history will be bucked in this particular situation. But historically speaking, if you're being blamed at the start of a shutdown, you're getting blamed at the end of it. And right now, it's Republicans who are being blamed at the start of this one. History ain't exactly too kind to those who are blamed at the start of shutdown.
I think that's what happens when you're like ideologically captured, which the GOP is. When you start with an ideology and you work backwards, you never ever admit that you were wrong, because the ideology that the MAGA Republicans believe that they are starting from is like Christianity and God's word. So you can't really say I was wrong when what you think your ideology is God's word, because if you do that, then you have to say like God was wrong. This is why it makes me very nervous, the amount of Republicans that are out there consistently talking about Jesus and the Bible. This is why we had problems with people like Charlie Kirk, because when people point out that what Charlie Kirk was bigoted, the people that liked Charlie Kirk are like, oh, no, it was just what he believed. Yeah, it is, and it was bigoted, right? Just like all bigoted beliefs are that people have along ideological lines. And that's where like society fucks up. It's not just America, but like we're in it right now. Beliefs should not be protected from criticism. They shouldn't be protected in the same way that like a person is. And what Republicans believe is that their beliefs are more protected than a person. There is no protection for your personal beliefs being like lawful, right? Nobody can hurt you for your beliefs. You're not supposed to be jailed for your beliefs, but you're not allowed to take your belief system and inflict it on other people. And people are allowed to criticize your belief system. That's the crazy part with Charlie Kirk. Like, we're not having a real conversation about Charlie Kirk and Republicans because we say this is bigoted and you go, no, it's my beliefs. That's the end of the conversation. That's why we never get anywhere, because you've decided that you're not shifting from that. You just believe people don't have rights because of your belief system. No amount of talking gets you back there. I saw a clip the other day of Parker. It might have been Dean. I don't remember who it was. They were out and about, and they were talking to a guy about, I want to say it was maybe gun violence. I can't remember what it was. But when they showed him the data, he was just like, oh, well, I don't care because this is what I believe. And he's like, I got to go. And he walked away. When I debated that is it Dave? Matt. When I debated Matt on Wednesday night, at the end of that, when we talk about Israel and Palestine, he's like, okay, Israel has children hostages. I'm not sure why. They're killing way more people. They have way more. He didn't even know that Israel had hostages. He didn't know that they had like 10x the hostages. And at the end of that, you'll remember he said, well, I will never change my opinion because my wife is Jewish and my kid is half Jewish. And so I fight to defend them, and you will never sway me. That's where the GOP is. All of these positions, they didn't get to these positions because they thought about it. They walked through a process. It makes sense to them. They started with that position, and they're just not moving off of that position. No matter what, it doesn't matter. Science could prove it wrong. There is nothing that will remove them from that position because they believe that position was given by God. We're gonna see that over and over and over again until, I don't know, until this version of conservatism in America is over, which doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon. Here's Mike Johnson. He went on with, I think he's on NBC here with Craig Melvin, and like NBC is not going to take it. I don't know what I mean, I guess a lot of us can guess what they have on Mike Johnson, but for Mike Johnson to continue to lie like this when everybody knows he's lying is alarming, and his face is getting puffier. I just want to say it.
They want to give taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens again. We cut all that out because it doesn't follow our law and it doesn't follow common sense.
Mr. Speaker,
and no, it is. Look at page 57, section 2141 of the bill that Chuck Schumer filed.
I had a hankering feeling you were going to bring that up, and I actually did look at it, and we can't get into it obviously here.
Watch this. As soon as he tries to start telling the audience why Mike Johnson's lying, watch Mike Johnson just start yelling over. And you're going to see this with MAGA all over the place. You saw it on those panels with CNN. MAGA has been instructed, if somebody starts correcting you, just talk over them. And these people, like, they need Mike Johnson. It helps their ratings. They're supposed to be indifferent. They're not supposed to be viewed as political. And it puts them into this weird position where they're like, they don't necessarily want to stop. But watch Mike Johnson when he starts telling the truth.
On the show, but that last statement was a bit misleading. This idea that they want
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Mr. Speaker,
no,
again,
they want to cut out. They want to repeal and reverse the reforms that we made, and that would add $200 billion taxpayer funds to illegal aliens. Go to my website, speaker.gov. You can see it for yourself.
All right, let's go to speaker.gov and let's see if he's telling the truth for the MAGA that's here in the chat. Speaker.gov. Going to load us. Democrats' dirty CR. Here's the appropriations. All right. What he's talking about is, I can find it. Why isn't it highlighted? Did my highlight go away? Son of a bitch. Control F. Wait, where is it? Not going to work? Oh, this is the CR text. Sorry. I'm sorry. This is the... Here it is. Democrat continuing resolution spends nearly $200 billion on healthcare subsidies for, illegal immigrants and other non-citizens. Ending Medicaid funding for most non-citizens, ending enhanced FMAP for emergency care to illegal immigrants. They're just adding illegal immigrants into all of these things. Closing the California loophole, ending Medicare funding for most non-citizens. See how they're saying non-citizens here instead of illegal immigrants? They're saying non-citizens here because they're trying to pretend that the people who are getting benefits here are illegal immigrants. They're not. They're here legally. They've been given parole. Many of them, if they're from Venezuela, they were given that parole status from Donald Trump. Special rule for immigrants, not illegal immigrants, for Obamacare, ending Obamacare funding for most non-citizens. This is not about funding for illegal immigration. It's just not true.
To my earlier point, this conversation that we're having, as important as it may be, to folks who are just sitting in watching and listening and thinking, you know what, these guys can't even keep the government open. In the United States of America in 2025, Democrats and Republicans can't even work together to provide a functioning government.
Well, the Republicans are working right now. They've done our job. We passed a bipartisan bill out of the House to keep the government open. So if you're frustrated, call the 44 Senate Democrats who are holding this up.
Yeah,
it is their
it's all of you, but only blame the Democrats.
Votes that can open the government again and get it working for the people. That's a simple fact.
Yeah. That's why most Americans are watching this and blaming it on Republicans. By the way, all of this stuff that they're talking about, it doesn't even benefit. There's no benefit for any of you for this. This funding that the Democrats want restored, like this funding is actually going to go to help poor people. It's going to keep rural hospitals open. It's going to keep people from dying. And they know that. The Republicans know that people will die. They know that people who are qualified to be on Medicaid will be cut from Medicaid. They all know that. And I'll get to those numbers here in a minute. But they have to say illegal immigration because they know that their base views people who are undocumented as a problem and like that they don't have rights. Because we already know that even though our Constitution grants due process for people who are not here legally, the Republicans have said, fuck it, we don't care. They don't get due process. Even when it's gone through the courts and the courts confirm that people who are here illegally get due process, Republicans just say, I don't fucking care. They know that. They know if they just say illegal immigrant or illegal alien, that Republicans will be like, good, treat them like shit. We do not care what it is. But we don't care if Americans get wrapped up in it too. We don't care if Americans go to jail. As long as we go after illegals. That's all they have to say. Here's Mike Johnson again answering a question from a reporter specifically about the cuts that are now going to be made with Russ Vought and Donald Trump, and then the messaging on government websites like HUD.
Term election.
The president posted on Truth Social this morning that the meeting is to determine which of the Democrat agencies they recommend to be cut. This is in addition to the money for New York, for the transit funding being cut, and in addition to blue states seeing their energy funding cut. Two questions on this. I mean, do you think this is political targeting? Is that appropriate? And then in addition, HUD.
No. Trump said, we're only going to cut money from Democrats and Democrat states. Do you feel like that's political targeting? No. What else could that possibly be? Where's my Republicans? What else could that possibly be? CNN said we're going into recession, new record Dow today. Uh-oh, James doesn't know how recessions work. Guess what happens the day before a recession every single time, James? We have record highs in the stock market, and they don't make any sense.
On its agency webpage, blaming radical Democrats for this. Is that an appropriate use of taxpayer money being overtly political? It's something we haven't seen before.
I think what the HUD website says is the objective truth that we're telling you right now. There are
I'm sick of these motherfuckers that care about pronouns and they care about accuracy all the fucking time. I'm getting real tired of them using the word objective incorrectly. There's nothing objective about that. It is entirely subjective. Whoever you are blaming this on, it is subjective. There's no objective way to look at this because you need 60 votes to shut down to keep this going, and you don't have 60 votes. And those 60 votes, no matter what, not coming. It's not you can't objectively say it was the Democrats' fault. That makes no sense. I'm tired of them misusing words. If they're going to make us be super accurate on everything they care about, they got to stop using objective incorrectly.
44 Democrats in the Senate. And by the way, every Democrat in the House except one who voted to shut the government down, they are the ones that made that decision. The White House and the executive branch take no pleasure in this. But
they take so much pleasure. They're memeing like motherfuckers. This is the happiest they've ever been. I don't know that I've seen Caroline Leavitt so happy. She didn't have to answer questions for a while. She's thrilled.
They are tasked with determining what the priorities are. Obviously, they're going to follow their principles and priorities and not the other team. That's the results of an election that everybody voted in, a popular election in electoral college. I am. And that's why I'm pleading with the entire country to call your senators, your Democrat senators, the 44.
Oh, yeah, only your Democrat. Don't call Republicans and ask them to negotiate. Call your Democrats and demand that they do whatever we say.
People who want to shut the government down, you should call them right now and tell them to get here and get to work and open the country up for the people.
They are there, actually. The Democrats are in Washington. It's the Republicans that all went home. There's only a handful of Republicans that are in Washington right now. The Democrats were there on the floor of the Senate yesterday, and you looked across the aisle, and it was empty for Republicans. So, I don't even know what he's asking them for. Mike Johnson is terrified of something right now. He is going all out. I will lie about everything. Then he was asked about Representative Grijalva. I think you say Grijalva. Sorry if that's wrong. Who is still won her primary, has yet to be sworn in. Here is CBS Morning News asking about that representative so we can get the Epstein files.
Talking about sombreros on the internet.
Good. Well done, Michelle. You were ahead of the game.
should be talking about the American people's needs.
It is serious business. We've given it extensive coverage today, and we'll continue covering it tomorrow. One additional topic I do want to get your answer on is Representative Grijalva, who won a special election last week in Arizona. She's yet to be sworn in. I know you're not in session, but you've sworn in Republicans out of session. Why not her? Does it have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, the House is not on the floor doing business this week, but we will do it immediately, early next week, as soon as everyone returns to town. We have to have everybody here, and we'll swear her in. I congratulate her on her win. She's replacing her father, who had a long history here, and she'll be a productive member of Congress. We look forward to that.
All right.
Talking about.
I hope so. There was the guy. I don't know if that guy was just spoofing or not, but we were supposed to have the Grindr account. I watched his video yesterday. He said that he doesn't believe he legally can release it, so we're not going to get the Grindr account, which does make sense actually when you think about, like, I understand what he's trying to do, but legally I think he would be in a tough spot if he released private information. I don't even know how he would get that. There'd probably an investigation into how he got that information. I don't know. So it doesn't seem like we're going to get that information. Here is Fox News even pushing back against Mike Johnson. Trying. This guy, by the way, remember in Parks and Rec when they have that final candidate with, like, last season's when Ben is like running that congressional race and he has that guy that they think is a robot. Does this not look exactly like that guy? Let's see. Parks and Rec robot congressman. Wonder if I can show this. It'll probably get clipped out, but
hey everybody. So I've been going over your reports. Let's try to be consistent with our fonts, guys, okay? There's a crazy amount of random font differences.
Wow, there he is, Barack Obama.
His name is Congressman David Murray. He is our boss, and he is white. Don't embarrass me. Congressman Murray, I'm Ben Wyatt, Coordinating Director of DC Operations.
And I'm April Blart, Mall Cop.
Great. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Ben. Heard such great things.
Oh, well.
All right. Now you see it. Is that not the same guy? I swear that's the same guy.
Morning in the Wall Street Journal, she talks about Republicans, health care, the policy, and the messaging. Do you agree with her that the Republicans are weak, vulnerable on health care policy at this moment when a lot of Americans are saying they are worried about the high prices, but there's just very little discussion about why the prices are so high?
Exactly. We're all concerned about that, but if they look at the facts, Republicans are the ones that are solving the problem.
Oh.
In the big, beautiful...
I didn't know that. I didn't know the Republicans were solving the problem. Let's see. What are you solving here, Mike?
Bill, when we put that out, August 25th, go look it up, and they
Okay.
said the
I looked
CBO
it
is
up.
not a Republican group. They're the neutral arbiters here, and they say the Republicans...
Remember when they passed the one big beautiful bill and they all said you can't trust the CBO, who said it was going to raise the deficit by like $5 trillion, and they're like, oh, the CBO is partisan. Do you remember? This was just a couple months ago that the CBO was partisan and we can't trust their numbers. And now what are you saying about the CBO?
Go look it up, and they said the CBO is not a Republican group. They're the neutral arbiters here.
Oh, neutral arbiters. Now they're a neutral arbiter. Got it.
And they say the Republicans are right, because what we did was save $185 billion of waste and abuse in the program with our reforms.
Are you guys surprised that, are you going to be surprised when I read the CBO and the CBO didn't say that it was going to lower prices? Is anybody going to be surprised by that?
And we're going to get 2.3 ineligible recipients off of that. That's those illegal
2.3, I think he meant million. They also didn't say that in the CBO.
aliens. That's the young, able-bodied men.
But what about
who are
people
siphoning
people who are not on Medicaid, people who are either on the Obama exchanges or are worried they're going to lose their employee-sponsored health insurance?
Yes, we have a lot of reforms that we need to push through, but the answer is not to grow government and further subsidize insurance companies, which is exactly what those subsidies do. It doesn't help bring premiums down. We got to do it for the people, not for the insurance companies.
Well, they're in it for the people. So let's talk about what the CBO said. The CBO estimates that between 7.8 and 10 million people will lose Medicaid coverage by 2034 due to work requirements, more frequent renewals, and stricter eligibility. The very report he's talking about from August 25th. I'm pulling this from that. 10 million people between 7.8 and 10. Doesn't say anything about illegal immigration. The CBO projects no nationwide mandatory new Medicaid premiums. Instead, the law drives substantial drops in enrollment and coverage due to eligibility rules and administrative hurdles, with enormous federal spending reductions, but little direct effect on premiums. This is word for word. Little direct effect on premiums. For most existing Medicaid populations, states retain some discretion over limited premiums, but major increases are not projected under CBO assumptions. The CBO projected that the effects of the One Big Beautiful Bill would lead to substantial increases in health insurance premiums for many Americans, particularly due to the expiration of enhanced premium tax credits in the Affordable Care Act. So the money, and this is going, this is when we took Medicaid and when we moved some of that, we put it in the hands of private healthcare insurers. There's subsidies. And we're pulling the subsidies out. Because of that, again, marketplace coverage and changes to Medicaid policies mean that the CBO found with the end of those tax credits, out-of-pocket premiums for marketplace plans will surge, and millions might lose coverage as a result of unaffordability. Over the next decade, average gross premiums for marketplace benchmark plans were estimated to go up by over the next decade, average gross premiums for marketplace benchmark plans were estimated to be about 7.6% lower if the tax credits were extended. If they were extended. Because the tax credits are not extended, they are guessing, and the CBO has been actually usually pretty wrong on this. They almost always guess low. So they're saying roughly 8% is how much your insurance premiums are going to go up with these tax credits not being extended. But with the legislation passed, CBO expects premiums for the 2026 year plan to be 2.4% lower than baseline projections. So if we don't pull them out, the 7.6% rise, we might see that at like 5.2% instead. Mike Johnson's law. Now, let's go back to what Mike Johnson said. Let's see if he was telling the truth.
Save $185 billion. 5th, go look it up. And they said the CBO is not a Republican group. They're the neutral arbiters here. And they say the Republicans are right. Because what we did was save $185 billion of waste and abuse in the program with our reforms.
It doesn't say that.
And we're going to get 2.3 ineligible recipients off of that. That's those illegal aliens. That's the young, able-bodied men.
Okay, but in that same CBO, when he says we're going to get 2.3 million, which it doesn't say, by the way, it does not say that. I can't find that anywhere in what he reported there. That is their projection. But their number does say that 10 million people will lose their coverage. So even if that number that he had was correct, 2.3 million people would lose coverage. That leaves 7.7 or 7.7 million people that will lose their coverage. It is baffling how easy it is for these folks to lie. And Fox is confused. They're like, oh, they don't know what to do with it.
About people who are not on Medicaid, people who are either on the Obama exchanges or are worried they're going to lose their employee-sponsored health insurance.
Yes, we have a lot of reforms that we need to push through, but the answer is not to grow government and further subsidize insurance companies, which is exactly what those subsidies do. It doesn't help bring...
They only subsidize insurance companies because Republicans demanded that we let private insurance companies be part of Medicaid Part D, that the Republicans demanded that money we set aside for Medicaid be given to private healthcare companies. That was what the Republicans forced. That's what we negotiated against on the left. The left didn't want that. The Republicans negotiated that into the bill. So now they're like, we don't want to be giving money to these private insurance companies. Bitch, that's why we have the healthcare marketplace. That's why we don't have single payer. Obama wanted single payer. It is interesting to me that people criticize the Affordable Care Act and they blame Obama for it. And they're like, look, the healthcare premiums kept going up. Yeah, no shit. No shit, because you forced us to use private healthcare. We weren't allowed to do like Medicare for all. You forced us to do private healthcare and subsidize that. Now they're pretending that they were against that. They forced that. That's what they want.
premiums down. We got to do it for the people, not for the insurance companies. That's important.
Wait, isn't Josh the one that can you get rid of Josh? Josh earlier said that black people shouldn't be able to vote. I think that was the Josh. I thought we got him. Yeah, let's get rid of Josh. Josh, you can get fucked.
Important
Sir, thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming on. I don't know, what are you getting, like 3 hours of sleep a night?
They don't know. Thanks. What, you sleeping well? You guys sleeping well here? No, Josh, Josh has got to go. Here's the difference when you ask Elizabeth Warren. This is when it gets substantially more clear. Remember, Elizabeth Warren's brilliant. She quit her job at Harvard to come work for the federal government. She doesn't take like PAC money. She gets all of her money, I think, from individual donations. She advocates for policies repeatedly that strip rich people of their protections and their influence in the government. I'm a huge fan of Elizabeth Warren. I don't know how she became like the boogie woman, but I love Elizabeth Warren.
So, Senator, Republicans say what you're really fighting for is taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me. Not strictly true.
It's not true directly, but
out lie. It is a flat out lie.
The way that they frame it.
There is nothing in Medicare that permits one undocumented immigrant to get $1 of assistance.
Senator, if you let me finish the question.
Of course,
Senator,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, in the Democratic counteroffer, the proposal for funding, there is a restoration of Medicaid benefits for certain non-citizens that it had been taken away in the big, beautiful bill, as the Republicans put it. Republicans don't think those people should be getting health care on the taxpayer dime. I'm not asking on the merits. Politically, putting that in there exposes you to this talking point, this lie, as you put it. Why put it in there? Why is it worth it?
CC checking in. She doesn't get tons of money from Big Pharma. She gets tons of money from people who work in the pharmaceutical industry, and they donate their money. She doesn't get money from Big Pharma. You need to fact check that.
No, what's happened is that what we're saying is that whenever hospitals give care, what is going to be the level of reimbursement? And the Republicans said it's going to be a low level. The Democrats said we just want to go back to the level it was before because you're going to bankrupt hospitals.
So this is really, really important what she's saying, and she's so good at laying this out, but I just want to go a little more in depth where she doesn't have time. What they're talking about is there's a reimbursement program through Medicare for specifically, not specifically, but it gets used by rural hospitals a lot. So if somebody comes into emergency care, they're treated. And because we don't expect our hospitals to check somebody's citizenship and do a whole fucking investigation before they treat somebody for life-saving conditions, there is a reimbursement process for that. And Republicans cut that reimbursement amount, which is why these hospitals have said, we're fucked. If you cut our ability to get reimbursed for the care that we provide, we're fucked. And Republicans didn't provide any evidence that that money was going towards people who are here illegally. They just say that, but they don't have any evidence that that's happening. It does happen sometimes, but they don't have a number, so they just cut it. They just chose an arbitrary number and they cut it. And the reason that they had an exact number of what they knew they needed to cut is because they knew how much money they have to cut to pay for the tax break for rich people. So they're literally stealing money from the poor to give to the rich. It's a math equation. And that's what we're talking about. That's why rural hospitals are saying, we need that restored or we are fucked.
You're going to put rural hospitals out of business. The Republicans and the Democrats plan, nothing changes the number of undocumented immigrants who still get care if they show up bleeding and unconscious at an emergency room. There is absolutely zero difference. The difference is whether or not hospitals who, under laws that date...
Scarlett, I don't think you know what debunked means, but you should come talk to me sometime. Because what it sounds like you're doing right now is you're listening to Elizabeth Warren, who is telling the truth, and me, who's telling the truth. And I'm reading it off of the One Big Beautiful Bill's plan. What it seems like to me, Scarlett, is that you are a human being who has a lot of privilege, and you think that your opinion fucking matters in the face of facts. Everything that we're saying is true. I've just showed you Republican after Republican lie, lie after lie after lie. And you believe them because I think you might just be a Republican. I would challenge you, however, to take you or anybody that you think is smart and bring them up here and let's have a conversation. I'll come to your platform. You can DM me. I would like you to tell me which of these talking points has been debunked. And I'm looking forward to you showing me where that's been debunked. I am so tired of mediocre fucking Republicans who think that, like, again, you're using the word objectively wrong. You also fucking use the word debunked wrong, because debunked is just anything you don't believe. I've heard like 1,000 people debunk that. What'd they say? They said it was a lie. Oh, okay, that's a debunk. I'm tired. You are average as fuck, Republicans. I take it back. I'm sorry. That was rude. Below average as fuck. Like below average as fuck. You are the laziest, most incurious group of people I've ever seen. And it should embarrass you that somebody like Mike Johnson can get up there and lie in front of you and you're like, yeah, that's probably true. The only reason you don't believe Elizabeth Warren right now is because Elizabeth Warren is on the left. That's it. I don't know. I can't think of anybody on the right that is smarter than Elizabeth Warren. She's one of the most intelligent people in our government. She's brilliant, so brilliant that they wanted her to stay at Harvard, and she's like, no, I've got to go join the government after the financial collapse because there's not enough people in the government advocating for the people, and they're going to bail out all these banks, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to put some protections in for the American people. And while if you're still here, Trollsky McTrollerson, after the financial collapse, everybody, you, me, everybody, all of us know that the banks got bailed out and we all got fucked. And the people who lost their houses got fucked. Their credit was ruined. They lost their house. Now they have to rent. They can't buy another house for years, at least 7 years. They all got fucked. And the government took that money and they gave it to the banks. And they're like, here you go. This will fix it. And the banks are like, dope. And they paid all of their CEOs all these massive bonuses. And then they used a lot of that money to go and buy houses that were really fucking cheap. And they were really fucking cheap, not because the housing market collapsed. So not only were they able to get bailed out by the government, but they used that investment to go either fund loans for people or to invest directly into purchasing houses. And Elizabeth Warren quit her job at Harvard and went to the United States Senate and invented something called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was meant to make sure that when these big businesses make decisions that fuck you over and cost you money, that you could go to that bureau without an attorney and the government would act on your behalf to get your money back. And until Trump came into office, they had clawed back something like $80 billion fucking dollars for Americans. And all it took was you guys who don't fucking read anything and who don't learn anything, all it took was you watching Joe Rogan when Mark Andreessen and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg all went on Rogan and they're like, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is Elizabeth. CFPB has never debanked anybody. It's not what they do. The banks that chose not to work with Donald Trump chose to do so without any influence from the CFPB. They don't have that type of influence. And so now that you've been fed this lie, I'm so tired of these Republican talking points that have been debunked a million times. I've had to debunk this one 1,000 times. And by the way, if you want to see me debunk it and get fact check, you can go to Jubilee's page when we had a debate about Elon Musk. And while I'm saying this, Jubilee puts up the fact check from Straight Arrow News that like almost word for word says what I'm saying in real time, that none of this shit happened. And you guys will still believe it. So now this organization doesn't exist anymore. It's been completely crippled. And they're not pulling back money. Instead, Donald Trump's letting those same people who fucked you all over get more power. And they don't have to worry about the CFPB. They don't have to worry about the SEC. They don't have to worry about HUD. They don't have to worry about the FTC. They don't have to worry about the FEC. They don't have to worry about anything so long as they gave Donald Trump money. This person fights for you. Donald Trump fights for the people who fuck you in the ass, and you're too fucking stupid to get out of your ideological capture and recognize that this is actually somebody who is fighting for you. She's not getting rich in the Senate. She's not going out there advocating for doing the bidding of massive corporations or the rich. She fights for you every single day. She's one of a handful of people in the government who legitimately stand on their values. She doesn't take corporate money. She takes mostly private donations. I think like less than 1% of her money has ever come from anything other than like individual donations. And she fights for the American people every day. And the only reason you hate her is because you've been told to hate her. But she fights for you, and she doesn't quit just because you're too fucking stupid to figure it out.
Back to Ronald Reagan, may provide emergency care to anyone who's unconscious, will actually get reimbursed at a very low level that will put the hospital ultimately out of business potentially, or at a higher level. The Republicans, there is no change in the number of undocumented immigrants who get any help under what the Democrats want. Look,
Senator,
what we're looking for is help for people who are going to get pushed out of nursing homes,
Senator,
help for people who are at home and relying on home health aides. That's
Senator,
what this fight is about.
I appreciate your expansion on that issue, and I appreciate the conversation. I hope a compromise is reached soon. Senator Elizabeth Warren, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I don't remember who it was. It was one of those Republicans that's here all the time that said she gets money from Big Pharma. She's not a top recipient of funding. You can Google it. She's not a top recipient of funding from pharmaceutical industry political action committees, and she has not received any donations from major pharma since 2015. Every bit of money, and this is how, like, this is what happens. This is how easy it is to lie to you. And when you say, like, whoever that idiot was that was like, I'm tired of these talking points, you're just repeating another talking point. Because Republicans know you won't fact check shit because you're all just fucking programmable. They just tell you, like, she gets funded by Big Pharma, and you go, she gets funded by Big Pharma. You know who's funded by Big Pharma? Every fucking person on the right that you like. Every fucking one of them. Every fucking one of them. She doesn't. She gets private donations. But all it takes for you, Larry Stamfer, you dumb fucking dipshit, is for somebody to say it, which is why your response right now is, okay. Yeah, right, man. The right wouldn't lie to me. Look it up, Larry. Get fucking Google. You want to see? Just Google it. Does Elizabeth Warren get funding from Big Pharma? Her campaign relies heavily on small and large individual contributions, which accounted to over 96% of her funding between 2019 and 2024. You want to? You can go look there. You can go right there. You can look at her funding. You are the dumbest, most programmable group of people I have ever seen in my life. And here's another example. This is Lori Chavez Deramer. She is she's the labor secretary. Here she goes on with Maria Bartiromo, and even Bartiromo's like, I've had enough of you.
But certainly in this administration, and as a former member of Congress, for them to not see that they are hurting the American people. We've been on a momentum of job gains. We've been working so hard across the country to make sure that we are growing this economy and, really having the workforce investments that we've been doing to only see it come.
Can't read, so showing him has no effect.
Come to a screeching halt. While we're not going to get the jobs numbers report because they will not open this government, we want to keep the momentum going. I mean, that's been the goal as I've traversed this country. We're seeing consumer confidence up. We're seeing businesses want to reinvest in their workforce. And this is only, a real screeching halt for the American people. And it's unfortunate that the Democrats don't see that they're fighting for the American people and they're going to pay.
Well, I mean, you know the data, though. You know where we are. I mean, we've had 3 months of slowing jobs. We know we don't have the numbers for...
What's that? 3 straight months of slowing jobs, you said? Huh. By the way, Trump got $200 million in this last election from Big Pharma. So I guess that bothers you. Where'd old dipshit go? Is dipshit still around? Larry, does that bother you that Trump got $200 million from Big Pharma? Or do you only use that when you want to criticize somebody on the left and it's something that you don't give a fuck about? Everybody, let me know when Larry jumps in here and says, fuck Donald Trump for taking $200 million from Big Pharma.
September, but is there anything you could tell us about the jobs picture today?
Yeah, what we're seeing is the investments. I was just in Michigan at Ford, and I met with Bill Ford. I met...
No? What do you mean no, Larry? You're not mad at Donald Trump for that? So does that mean that you don't care about Big Pharma money, Larry? Is that what you're saying? You just like you're just one of those generic Republicans who doesn't fucking know anything except for the talking points against people on the left. Is that what it is, Larry? You're just a dipshit.
You know, with other investors, CEOs who are putting the work.
Oh, I see Larry. I see Larry's comments. I don't think he's blocked.
Force together. You know, we have to upskill and reskill. We heard more than once that we're short of our welders, our construction workers. You know, it's important that we have those tradesmen and women building this country. That's what the president laid the groundwork.
Yeah, but those jobs, we're not creating manufacturing jobs. Do you hear what they're saying? Like, this is how stupid they think you are. They're just like, jobs are like, we're bleeding jobs. The job market is absolutely destroyed. They're like, we're building up the job market. This is what we're doing. We're building up manufacturing. No, you're not. Why aren't we seeing an increase in manufacturing jobs that you guys promised?
With a lot of these trade deals, and to see the investments that these companies are making, trillions of dollars, now be stopped. That's the unfortunate part. But we've seen,
we're going to talk about that.
Seen the confidence grow for the American economy.
Wait, real quick, by the way, what she just said is there's these trillions of dollars in investments into, and because the government shut down, that they're stopped. Uh-oh. Those are supposed to be investments into private companies. The private companies don't have to stop building because the government shut down. Did she just accidentally admit that Donald Trump has a slush fund that he directs investing through the federal government? Did she just admit that?
Look at GDP, 3.8%. So all of the indicators that you've seen from your economists on this show have shown that we're moving in the right direction. So while we've seen the numbers...
Who says that? Nobody says that. The economists you put on this show, like Mike Johnson and Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick and J.D. Vance, you know, all the most respected economists, they say we're headed in the right direction.
Kind of hold steady. The goal is to not stop the momentum, and that's what we're hoping for the American people.
The momentum. Every month we're losing more and more jobs. Every month inflation is going up. Every month grocery prices are going up. Every month gas prices are going up. You don't want to continue this momentum, you fucking idiot. This is not the momentum you want. This is bad. These folks, the thing is they're so rich and protected and insulated, and their medical care is covered, and they get money from the federal government, and they all have their own investments. They legitimately don't know. They have no idea how bad things are. They have no idea what it's like on the ground. The job market is a mess because the BLS lied about the jobs that were actually filled.
Guys, the thing is about the job market is it's actually very good. Okay, it's very good, but it's the data that's wrong. I know that people are losing their jobs. Ford just fired 1,000 people. That's because the BLS report, guys. It's all going to be fixed when they change the reporting. Everything is actually. Do you know how fucking stupid that sounds? Can you imagine just like living your life in that way? Just constantly cucking for the people who are fucking you over. Like, imagine if you're having a house being built. And they're like, your house will be done being built in 6 months. And you're like, great. And then it's 5 months and 2 weeks. And you're like, I want to see. It's got to be almost done. And then you get there and you're like, hey, what the fuck? Where's the house? And they're like, well, you know what happened is we were going to have people build the house, but they told us that this was a full acre and it's 0.98 of an acre, or 0.98 acres. And so they fucked it up. Couldn't you just build anyways? No, it's paperwork's all wrong. So fuck. That's what's happening to all these companies that are laying off workers. Somebody's got to tell them that these layoffs are because of fake job numbers. Then they won't lay them off. That's probably what happened with Ford. They were probably like, oh, people are laying people off. Oh, we should lay people off. Somebody should have called them and been like, oh, those numbers were fake, dude. And they'd be like, thanks for telling us. We'll rehire everybody right quick. Don't worry. You know how fucking stupid that is? Actually, things are great. It's just that every number, ADP who covers this and the BLS, they all just get it wrong. But Trump gets it right.
But certainly in this administration and as a former...
All right. I want to tell you about her, by the way, just to show you how corrupt this government is and how weaponized they are. You know how Letitia James and Adam Schiff recently were investigated, saying that they claimed their primary residence where they are from, but their primary residence was actually in D.C. Well, let me tell you about Lori Chavez Derimer. She lived in Oregon, and she was I think she's a member of Congress in Oregon. They lived in Happy Valley, which I guess, where's Happy Valley in Oregon? I don't know where that is. In March of 2021, while still working for the government, they purchased a home in my state, Fountain Hills, Arizona. And the mortgage agreement that they signed required them to occupy that property as a primary residence because they refinanced their home in Oregon as a primary residence 2 months earlier. So she has a signed document claiming her primary residence is Arizona. Weird, right? They'll probably investigate her for sure. Now that they've done Schiff and Letitia James, they'll probably investigate her, right? If they don't investigate her, are you guys ready to say that it's weaponized yet, or are you just going to pretend it's not? Here's Midas Touch, because she mentioned the $17 trillion that Trump has brought in. Now, there's a problem with that. Trump keeps saying there's $17 trillion. That's half our national debt almost. That could pay off half our national debt. Can you imagine if we just took that $17 trillion and just cut our national debt in half? How much would that save on interest payments? Where is that $17 trillion?
Donald Trump, who loves those press conferences with the world leaders in the Oval Office, loves those on tape, right? In the room with all of the gold that he likes, all the gold that he talks about. He said no press were allowed in it today. Huh? So you're canceling Monday and Tuesday of work. You're not allowing cameras to be in the room when the Democrats are there. Honestly, as I think about it right now, I know the Democrats had to show up and be like, look, we're being there in good faith. But I actually think maybe they could have made a bigger deal, now that I think about it, saying we only want to show up, we want this to be on tape because we don't want there to be any confusion or doubt about what transpires in the Oval Office. We want this.
I think he's wrong about that just because, Trump would have never have agreed to that. So then they would have just done the same thing. Not that it matters because they were going to do it no matter what. Maybe the move was to never meet with them. There's no scenario where they win because if they demanded that it be televised, Trump would be like, no, you guys just want that so that you can get clicks. And then that's how they would spin that. But Trump would say no. They don't want any of this televised because they're lying.
Meeting recorded because predictably Trump and JD Vance and MAGA Mike, they leave and they lie so effortlessly. You'll have MAGA Mike say, we're just trying to protect people's supplemental nutrition.
Can't negotiate on camera. Why? Why can't you negotiate on camera? It's our government. Are you saying that our government has to lie to us in order to negotiate?
Nutrition assistance program. We love SNAP. We're just trying to help low-income Americans with food assistance and with your health care. And Democrats are trying to remove it when literally we know that in the
I just wish people knew that what Democrats want to do is take all of our money and give it to people who are undocumented. I just want everybody to know that. That's all we want. We want all of your houses, all of our houses, all of our money, and our children and our grandparents, all of our clothes. Everything we have, we just want to hand that over to undocumented immigrants. I'm glad Trump's finally telling you guys about it.
Disastrous budget bill. They gutted SNAP. They gutted Medicaid. They gutted the rural hospital system. They took away $1 trillion from healthcare to help Americans. Close to $200 billion of that are for rural hospitals. Then they do this, like, we'll take away $200 billion. But we'll give $50 billion back. And then we'll say, we gave $50 billion more than Biden. No, you didn't. If you do the math, I know they're not good at math. I know they claim they brought in $17 trillion, even though we ran a $2 trillion.
Where is it? Where is that, Larry? Good to see you back, Larry. I said that you mentioned that. Where is it? Where's that $17 trillion that's been invested? What companies got that $17 trillion, Larry? Give me some names of companies and we'll pull them up. Which companies got foreign investment? I guess if you get World Liberty Financial, Trump's cryptocurrency, they got $2 billion. Jared Kushner got $2 billion. That didn't create infrastructure or jobs. That just gave Trump's family. There's $4 billion of it just to the Trumps. Where's that with the tariff shelf, Jeff? Yeah. Trump said, just check the tariff shelf. Where did we get this 17 trillion? It was on the tariff shelf. Where is it, Larry? Where's that money at, Larry? What companies got it? Republicans, you can help him out. Give me the names of the companies who got money of foreign investment. Elon? Who gave Elon money, Larry? Who was it, Larry? And how much did they give him? As far as I can tell, most of the money that Elon Musk has gotten has been from our federal government. He's now worth $500 billion. Most of that comes from government contracts, so that's not foreign investment now, is it? Come on, Larry. Come on, Larry. Who gave him that money, Larry? Elon gets welfare. He is the ultimate welfare queen. All right. We're actually time for Friendly Friday, so we'll wrap it up there. We did wipe out the gift code. Let me read some of these comments, and then you guys, if you're in the Discord, start jumping in for Friendly Friday. El Dizzle said Trump's pardons wiped out millions of dollars that were supposed to get back to go back to consumers. Yeah. What's that guy's name from Utah? Trevor Milton. I think Trevor Milton owed like $200 or $300 million that he had to give back to investors that he scammed, and Trump pardoned him, so now he doesn't have to pay that. That was pretty cool. Max said, doesn't Mike Johnson look like Hermie the elf? Who's Hermie the elf? Look. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. That's tough. Sorry, MAGA Mike. Did I get this? Amy said he turned it over to several. Oh, this was about when we were talking about the guy who turned over the stuff about Mike Johnson. He said he turned it over to trusted media and it would be coming out after proper vetting. We'll see. I don't know what their repercussions are because we know who gave it to him. It's not like they can protect their source. I don't know that the source isn't going to be protected there. I don't know if they can even release it without putting his life in danger. And Amy said Johnson worried about his Grindr account coming to light. I don't know why he's so worried. I do think it's funny when Republicans that can be blackmailed. It's interesting because Republicans wouldn't care about that. It's just that Trump would add on to it. Like if it came out tomorrow that Mike Johnson did have a Grindr account and Trump's like, I don't care. We love Mike Johnson. You guys would all just be like, yeah, we love Mike Johnson. Trump's just using it for control. Like that type of leverage only works if you're getting Mike Johnson to do things he doesn't want to do. But I really don't there's nothing Republicans will care about. Nothing. Carlton said Trump won't reallocate the budget anyways. Facts. Got that. Did I miss any? If I missed anybody, let me know in the chat. I think I got to check Jen's actually. I did definitely. Pink, thank you for joining the Dollar Club. Danielle said, sharing my pittance of a New York State stimmy. Also look up ICE's Operation Freaky Friday rolling out today. Great. Tim, thanks for joining the Dollar Train. And John said, agree 100% Jay on the Antifa comment. I don't remember what I said, but Jen sent me a screenshot. I'm going to look at it here in a minute, or a screen grab, so I can see what people were talking about. All right. We are ready for Friendly Friday. By the way, if you are here for Friendly Friday and you want to talk about the Antifa stuff, now is your time. I'm not opposed to taking this offline. I just wanted to get through the show. So if you want to talk about that, you're welcome to come up and talk about that as well. Jen, are we ready to go over there? We have Jen? Oh, I'm over there now. Oh, there we go. Hey, Jen?
Jen's not over here yet.
Yeah, she's not here yet.
That's weird. She dragged me over. Oh, there she
is. There's that little devil.
Hey, Jen.
I ended up closing mine out on accident. So, Mama's first. Mama Rob. Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Cool. So hello. It's
Hey.
been a rough week. But also I wanted to find out, did y'all fare okay last week with the storm?
Yeah, it was just
I don't remember hearing that.
it was just a lot of rain. It knocked out my power, and then it just rained for like 2 days. But where I'm at's fine. It's kind of like I'm in the higher part of the valley, so all the rain runs away from me. But there are places like in Globe that were really rough. I know there were some spots in downtown Phoenix where people couldn't get to their house because there was so much rain. But I was good. But thank you for checking on
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, so I'm actually doing a report right now on the uh, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau
Yeah.
and all the things that they've done. So, and I put this in the chat, but they forced just Wells Fargo alone to pay over $3 billion back to consumers
Yeah.
just for that one bank.
Yeah.
So, like anybody who's like, oh, they do bank, then they do this, they do that. No, that's bullshit. Like, just read.
And that was for wasn't that settlement for like they were creating like those fake accounts, like the people Wells Fargo, they were creating like or convincing people to get all these extra accounts that they didn't need. Isn't that what it was from?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
they
part of it?
weren't forcing them to get accounts that they didn't need. They were actually using their customers' information to open accounts that they were not aware of, and then systematically going in and like changing their address so they weren't getting notifications, and
Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that
like
part.
repossessing people's cars, foreclosing on mortgages. Yeah, I mean, there's there's so much stuff, and I used to work there, so it's like, you know,
At Wells
but
Fargo?
yeah. I mean, I worked in banking, so I worked for Wells Fargo and Chase and Bank One back in the day. But yeah,
I remember I had Wells Fargo and I left Wells Fargo, and then one day like a year later I got this I had moved, but I guess they got my new address, and I had like a bill from Wells Fargo for like $800, and it said like some debits had come in after I had closed my account. And so there was some like automatic payments that were tied to that debit card, which was canceled, and they tried to make me pay. I wound up winning. I argued publicly in a Wells Fargo branch that I won, but they tried to charge me like $800 after I had canceled that account. They're like, "Oh, we just took the charges and then charged you an overdraft fee."
yep. Yeah, so anyone that has just gotten like a random check in the mail from Wells Fargo, that is because of the CFPB.
There you go. And we're doing, and
So
we want to get rid of that. Apparently, it's not important anymore.
yeah, just no big deal. So,
All right.
anyways,
Thanks,
that was
Mama.
all I had. So,
Good talking to you.
Have a good weekend, guys.
See
Yep.
ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Who's next?
Kirsten.
Kirsten. Hey, Kirsten.
Hi.
Hey.
It's good to be back. That's all I can say. It's good to be back.
Good. I'm glad you're back. Feeling better?
Yeah, I got happy pills now, so
There you
now
go.
I can handle everything that's going on.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Well, as usual, you guys did a wonderful job. You guys did a great show. I'm actually heading up to my friend's to live with her now. I'm not living in my car anymore, thank God.
Oh, good.
But thank you everyone in the chat, and thank you everyone that give me well wishes in the Discord. You guys are all really sweet, and thank you everyone that's helping me through this hard time. I'm grateful for everyone, and then I hope you, Jen, in the chat have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys next Friday.
See you, Kirsten. All right. Who's next?
Nurse.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. How's the
Hey, Jay. Hey,
how's the
Jen.
Northwest?
I'm in Chicago.
God damn! I always mix up you and who do I always mix you up with? I always think I've done this like 3 or 4 times where I think you're in Seattle. Who is it that's in Seattle?
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
I don't know.
Oh well, you're in a
I don't know.
hellhole, so it's just
Yeah, I am.
obviously just gangs roaming the street. You probably can't go
Yeah.
outside without being punched in the face.
Oh, I get shot 2 or 3 times a week.
That's tough. That's tough.
Anyway, on the long list of reprehensible things the GOP has done, this whole thing they're trying to do with Medicaid and Medicare is one of the absolute worst. It is pushing hospitals to either shut down or refuse to care for dying patients.
And
I think I think their goal is to kill off all these immigrants and undocumented people because they might be getting health care.
Do you think it's because obviously what they're saying, like in order for people now because they're not going to check citizenship status. So what I was wondering is,
We
are
never
they
have.
right? And so are they just going to stop giving like life-saving care in general? Is that the plan? Like, the thing about the Republicans is this seems to be a numbers game for them. They're like, they don't seem to care about the human impact, because this wouldn't just affect people who are undocumented. This would anybody who shows up at the hospital that doesn't have ID. Like, sorry, I didn't think to get my documentation before I got in a life-threatening injury. Like, if you just show up with no ID, are you just going to die now? And it doesn't seem like the Republicans have given any thought to that at all.
Well, I think that hospitals and corporations are just as evil as any other corporation, but the people on the front line, the people in the emergency department, are humans, and they have dedicated their lives to saving lives. So they're not going to turn people away. They're not going to stop giving care. They're just not going to get reimbursed for that care. And like you said, all of those rural hospitals are going to shut down without Medicaid reimbursement.
Yeah.
Because that's what they rely on.
And then you get the flight to, then you're going to have flight to cities as this happens where people need medical care. And then you're going to have a housing problem. I mean, all of this stuff is just so poorly thought out. It's hard for me to think that it's not like that there's not a more sinister motive than what they're saying, because it's so poorly thought out and it hurts so many people. Everything that they do, it hurts so many people, and it's not just the people that they claim it's going to hurt. You know, they say that this is, working age men who are more than capable of working, but they choose not to because they get Medicaid, which doesn't make any fucking sense, because like Medicaid doesn't pay your bills. Like,
no,
but they're just getting hurt all the time and like go to the
And
hospital
how
for
many
the free
working
meals.
age men are obsessed with healthcare?
Yeah.
most 20-something men I know don't go to the doctor at all because they're invincible.
That's right. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's awful, and I really truly think that they want people to die. Or I think that it's their twisted idea of, if we take away enough things from poor people, they will go somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, you combine it with the fact that they're like pushing AI, which is going to take jobs. It does seem like they think that we need less people in this country. I think that's the most, like, if you look at their comprehensive plan, it looks like they want to get rid of people, like a lot of people. Like, they need to get rid of a lot of people. It seems like that's what their plan is, to pay down the debt. Seems what their plan is to usher in AI. Seems what their plan that's what their plan is for medicine. You look at RFK. Like, RFK is now like trying to convince people not to be vaccinated. We've seen measles outbreaks. I didn't get to it, but like we just had a child who was born with measles, and I think died in Canada. And so you look at this, and it's like a lot of these things. If we talk about Big Pharma a lot and how they don't care about American people, but you look at what the Republicans are doing, this is exactly how you would design a system if you needed to get rid of a lot of people.
And you mentioned vaccines, and I just have to say, I've been a nurse for 40 years. I have seen the advent of new vaccines in my lifetime. And I vividly remember caring for children dying from whooping cough, from pertussis.
Jesus.
And I didn't see that. I never saw a single one after the rollout of the vaccines. Not again. Not in the next 25 years. It just didn't happen.
What's amazing about the talk about vaccines is, like, even if their worst fears were confirmed, that all of this vaccine schedule caused autism, right? It caused an increased rate in autism. Not caused it, but I guess it caused the rate to go up. That would still be preferable than people dying. That's the craziest part about it. It's like they can look at the history and they're like, look at these millions of lives saved by vaccines, and they're like, oh, but autism rates went up. Well, even if they were right, I would still trade that. I would still trade autism for death any day of the week.
Especially since we're learning so much about how neurodivergent people learn, and we can meet their needs in a better way than we did 15 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they can learn, and they can become, I mean, even the ones on the more severe end of the spectrum are still having quality lives.
Yeah. It's amazing. I have one of my best friends. They have a nonverbal child. She just turned 3, and they were told when she was born, like, she's nonverbal, like she'll be with you forever. She'll never really be functional. She's 3. She thanks to the programs that we have in place, she gets like 30 to 40 hours of therapy, and like she's actually starting to communicate. 3 years later, the diagnosis was wrong. Like she's able to communicate. They think she's going to be able to eventually like go to school because of exactly what you said. Like we have therapy. They understand it better. And to tell that parent that like, oh well, wouldn't it be better if your kid died of measles? It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a nephew who's on the very functional end of the spectrum, and he didn't speak until he was 5 years old. He just didn't.
Yeah.
And then, today he's in his mid-20s, has a job, owns a house. He's fully functional.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I've hit my 0. So
Thanks, Marlene. Hey, keep your bulletproof vest on. I hope you get shot a
Yeah,
few times less
I
this
do.
week. See ya. All right, who's next?
Dolphin.
What's up, Dolphin?
I'm sorry. Shit. You
Did
interrupted.
we catch you on the inhale there?
You caught me on the exhale.
Okay.
All right. Going back to 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
because I remember this shit from the Israel stuff. I just have one question,
Yeah.
which bothered me. Why didn't an Iranian spy meet with Bibi 3 weeks before the attack and then go and contact the H group? I wonder.
I'm not familiar with
Anyways,
that story. Will you
that's
send it to
beside
me?
the point.
I'm not familiar with that one. Send it to me when you get done.
Remember what I told you about Morning Joe and how I don't really like to watch it?
Yeah.
Morning Joe from that a while back said it straight to one of the generals or ambassadors or whatever, and they were just on there, and he was just like, we just want the hostages back, blah 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 blah, and Joe was like, well, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Why was an Iranian spy meeting with Bibi 3 weeks before? And then reported back to H group.
Okay,
I'm
so
not joking.
Reza Pahlavi, it looks like, is the name. The son of the last Shah
I
of
bel-
Iran visited Israel, met with Netanyahu. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I didn't know that story.
Okay. Okay, and the thing about the Antifa thing, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've been in YouTube
Okay.
and I see like videos of people like on corners with like banners and flags that say Antifa and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if it's just, bullshit or if they're just trying to get clicks.
No, I think some people, I mean, like you said, like you can self-identify as Antifa. I think all of us, everybody who's anti-fascist is technically Antifa. And I think Jen did send me a clip. I'm going to watch it after. And I'm guessing that like I just wasn't very careful with those words because I don't think it's like an organized thing. But these groups, the one in Portland is clearly organized. Like the person who hit that lady with the flag, they were escorted back to an apartment that was owned by somebody. They walked with her, and that's where they found her. And that's a place where and they call themselves Antifa. That's really what I was trying to say is like those individual groups. But broadly, anybody who is anti-fascist is Antifa.
The video that I saw was somewhere in Boston though.
Okay. Yeah, send it to me.
Sure. All right. Well, thanks for having me. I just needed to get that stupid, Israel thing off my chest.
I
I've been
appreciate
waiting
it.
2 weeks to do it. And I wanted to tell you that I knew what you were talking about because I've seen videos on YouTube and I know a lot of people.
Go back and watch it that I'll understand what people are upset about. I just honestly don't remember the exact words I used, so I don't know.
Okay. Everybody have a wonderful day. And Kirsten, if you're still here, I'm glad that you're feeling better.
There you
Okay.
go. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. All right, who's next?
All right. Andrew.
What's up, Andrew?
Hey Jay,
Hey, what's
not
up, man?
much, not much.
Good to see you.
Just working. Good to see you too. Thank you. I came up about the Antifa thing, mostly just like, I'm not really a political page. I am a political person in the way that I engage with political news. listening to you is one of those ways. But what I understand is mostly just like the general not, and I don't think you were necessarily doing this, but I think this is the criticism from what I saw in the chat was like, don't embrace the phrasing or the framing that the right uses, which is to say that if all these people are Antifa and we only talk about Antifa when it's somebody getting hit with a flagpole, then we are embracing, I think, the idea that Antifa is violent. And like, for example,
Okay.
when we share a clip of like peaceful protests, we're not like, hey, look, it's Antifa. You know what I mean? We only talk about Antifa when it's somebody being aggressive or this and that. And I think that's the general idea is like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
am I making sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to go back in my mind. I think because I think what I was the point maybe that I was trying to get at is that these people are like I would consider myself Antifa, and when I see some of these groups who are there, like who set up these encampments, and I watch what they're doing, I don't think that they're providing any value, and I think that they add fodder to like that thought that Antifa is this violent group of like people who are just going to like get upset with free speech and hit
Yeah.
you with a stick. I think that was it. Like I didn't want to be associated necessarily with like that group of people. So I really
But
was just trying to
are
keep.
those groups?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are those groups like Antifa, or is it like those groups are something else that also falls under the huge umbrella of being anti-fascist? Like, for example, I was having this conversation with somebody last night, and I was saying I think the right most often gets confused conflating Antifa or the idea of Antifa with Black Bloc, BLOC. And they often point to videos of Black Bloc and say, this is Antifa, when it's actually Black Bloc, which is something that is more, to my knowledge, more organized. Like, is this group of encampments the place where the apartment where she was staying, where there's maybe some, so I don't know about that.
They do
That's the
say.
first time hearing about it.
Well, here's the other thing. Like they do say that they're Antifa, and like I got feedback from somebody. Somebody's got to mute. Where's that?
Jazzy girl.
Who is it? Somebody needs to mute. Okay, you got it. Like Antifa isn't like I think I'm anti-fascist. Antifa like is a name. That's Antifa itself is nothing, right? It's two words combined for anti-fascist. So clearly, like people have used it for labeling. They've used it on signs. They've used it for Facebook groups. They've used it for like T-shirts. For like people have used that. It's a term that people identify. I've never really identified myself with Antifa, but I consider myself anti-fascist. So I don't know. I guess that's the conversation. Like the people who generally in my experience are like broadcasting it who are have the banners, who have the shirts, who are saying we are Antifa, who are marching. I watch a lot of the stuff that they do and I'm like, I don't think that you represent me in a good way, or at least this ideology in a good way. I'm not sure that some of those people that are out there are doing anything that I think provides any value. That's more what I was trying to get. I do think that like Antifa itself has been a term that people have used to identify themselves during protest. And so I guess we just got to figure out a way to be careful about it. But
Yeah, I think that's it too. Is like they're just protesters,
yeah,
who do shitty things, not necessarily Antifa. But like, I don't know much about this, man. I was just trying to come up and
I appreciate
talk
that.
about it.
It's good to have the conversation. Yeah.
The last thing I want to say, because I see I have a 0, is what's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants?
Jeez. Is there any difference? It's hard to tell. I don't know.
One is a crusty bus station, and one is a
busty crustacean. Yes. That's good.
All right. See you guys later.
See you guys. All right. Who's next?
We've got Renee.
Hey, Renee.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. So, real quick, at the beginning of the show, I think I heard you say that you're doing lunch detail with your daughter who's in kindergarten. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my daughter, she's in 8th grade now, but I used to do the same thing when she was in kindergarten. And hopefully I don't get chastised for this by the ladies in the Discord, but I don't know how observant you've been, but when I was doing it, I would notice like all the boys would sit together in kindergarten, but already in kindergarten, the girls were sitting like 2 here, 3 there, 2 there. And I highly encourage you to get them to break up that. So just a heads up, I don't know how observant you've been or if that's even happening there, but that's what I kind of noticed when I was doing that with my daughter when she was in kindergarten. So
Honestly, I noticed so at the like while we're there that there's like two sides of the lunchroom. So the older groups come in towards the end, and the older groups actually seem to like segregate themselves a lot more than the younger groups. My daughter, for example, every time I go there, she's not with the same people. Like sometimes they're around, but she kind of just sits with ever or with whoever. And the type of class they have too, it's like similar to Montessori. Like it's not a Montessori school, but it's a little bit similar. Like they don't like have desks necessarily. Like their room has like couches and tables and stations. And so I do think it's a little
yeah,
bit
to go to
different that way.
school. I
Yeah.
know about that.
Yeah.
In Texas, of all places,
Yeah.
when I moved here from Germany. So,
Yeah, I will. I'll
no,
break them up. I'll tell them.
there you go. Break them up. Make sure that all of
But
them
why?
are talking to each other because it unclicks them.
Okay.
You know, it makes them more people persons
See,
instead
they
of being
all,
clicky.
yeah, they don't seem to be very clicky at that age for whatever reason. They all seem
Yeah.
to just equally scream. That's what they mostly all do is just scream shit. But I love it.
All right. Well, that's all I had. Hope everybody has a good weekend.
All right, brother. See it.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
FOD.
Hey.
Illusion.
Hey, you know I got love for you, right? You guys are
No.
my favorite type of people.
Thank you.
Okay, but listen, I want to weigh in on your position about this Antifa thing. Okay, I do
Yeah.
push back against your position a little bit. You qualified as having like little to no value, and we have to be careful because we might be providing fodder for MAGA to plaster it all over Newsmax and shit. But they're doing that anyways. What I think
No.
the
Wait,
benefit.
hold on though, real
What?
quick.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
it was fodder for violence from the government. I don't give a fuck what Newsmax says. Newsmax's gonna lie. But if
Okay.
but what I see out of this government that I've never seen before is that they act like a news report. Like they'll take those videos and they'll run with it, and that's enough for Republicans. Like we've seen, it takes very little for Republicans to say "fuck it," send in the National Guard. That was my
Yeah.
concern is the government. I
Sure.
don't give a fuck what Newsmax or Fox says. They're
But
gonna
they're
lie
doing
anyways.
that. They're doing that anyways too, bro. They're doing that anyways too. So my position specifically about this is that it doesn't make things necessarily worse. It makes it resistance more of a reality for a lot of otherwise oblivious people. And I think whether or not we're careful about it, or an instance happens that incites some government atrocity, shouldn't be the reason that we judge whether or not we resist in the way that we feel inspired. That's my position.
Yeah, I didn't think that person that hit her in the face was resisting anything. That was the
You
point.
don't?
No, they were all just walking down the street. I don't know what they were in an argument with each other. They were saying that she was at January 6th and she was I don't remember what she was calling them. And she was near them, and then the person just started like waving the flag right by her face, and it hit her in the face. I'm just thinking of like there are people that will see like what happened in Chicago. I think they'll see that and they'll be like, that was unwarranted.
They repelled out of helicopters,
Right.
bro. I saw a video of that shit. It was crazy.
And regular people will say that's too far. But what most people like, we haven't seen much coming out of Portland, and that's going to be the thing that gets pushed out more than anybody. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that necessarily makes it more or less wrong. But like, if I was out there protesting, I'd be very, very careful in the way that I protested, so it couldn't be misunderstood what I'm protesting. Because to a lot of people, they're going to say, oh well, what does protesting ICE have to do with hitting that person in the face for what they said? right? Then
Yeah, were
then
they
the
supporting ICE? I don't know.
yeah,
Were they
then
supporting ICE?
right, but nobody's going to talk about the protest of ICE, and nobody's going to talk about what ICE did. So it was just like somebody got distracted, somebody got emotional, and they took it out on somebody else for their words. I can't say like I'm for that I'm pro free speech, and then also stand by and be like, well, that person's speech I didn't like, so they're allowed to be
Sure,
whacked in the face, and that's how it's going to be
sure. I think
positioned.
sure, but we can conflate one thing with another very easily by saying that because these incidents happen, those congregations of resisting people have less value because they may incite some government atrocity. And I just think that's a very like thin line you can easily cross over, right? I mean, I know you're completely anti-violence, but
I mean,
a lot of people are
I'm not completely
inspired.
anti-violence. I think that if, like, for example, if you had an ICE agent arresting somebody or physically assaulting somebody, and like those same people jumped in and they jumped in on the ICE agent,
Yeah,
even though
yeah,
they would all go to jail, I would have said that was justified, it was warranted, and they're going to go to jail for that. That like
yeah,
that type of stuff I can get behind. I just thought that this was somebody who was thin-skinned, who let words get to them.
sure.
If you're going to go camp out, if you're going to go live on the streets, and you're going to protest against ICE, then if somebody says something you don't like and you whack them in the face, then you're not helping the cause at that point. You're
No
only hurting
disagreement
them.
there.
That's what I was trying to say,
No
and I
disagreement.
probably
All
didn't
right, I'll
explain
get
it
out of
well.
your hair.
All right, brother.
Sorry for going over, Jen.
You're
Catch
good.
you later, bro.
All right. Got little kids coming in the door.
All right, we've got uh, Trevor.
Sorry, who did you say?
Trevor.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, got lost on the screen.
You're good. What's up, Trevor?
So I wanted to offer a source of information regarding Israel Palestine
Sure.
that is not on the right, like absolutely not on the right, but is also on the side of Israel. And I bring this up because this particular topic is I find myself very lost on for many reasons. Like obviously, do not like genocide. Do not like just the murdering and holding hostage of women and children for any reason.
Okay.
Right. So, anyways, the source is Sam Harris, and I know he
It's an
can be a
interesting
very
one.
controversial. I know he can be a very controversial, subject.
Mm-hmm.
For example, he has been labeled by the Southern Poverty Law Center as being a source of hate speech. But I don't think that's an honest assessment.
I would probably agree with that because of the way that he shapes, for example, one of the things he said when he was debating, I guess it wasn't a debate, but he said that Islam is the like the motherland of all ideas, or like the motherlode of all
Of
bad ideas.
bad ideas when it comes to religion and religiosity.
Yeah, and I thought I've do the math. I don't know that it's any worse than what Christianity has been. So I do think that he is historically. I haven't seen Sam Harris in a while.
I think he's very controversial, and I think you're right, but I do think he also does criticize Christianity quite a lot.
I don't think in the same way though. I don't think so. I do think
Probably
I've
not,
seen him
but I mean, they
criticize,
are
but
two.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. They are two different world religions and have two different impacts. So, like, I don't think it's fair to say like you have to cover them equally.
No, but
I don't know.
but I think if you say that they are the motherlode of all bad ideas, I just think that I can't think of anything that has been done in the name of radical Islam that hasn't been done in the name of radical Christianity. So I just thought that was I just thought that was a misstep. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting this right about Israel. His other friends from the ideological dark web, like some of them who I've really despised since COVID, they tend to agree with where I'm at with Israel and Palestine as well. Like the Weinsteins have been a little better on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Weinstein fan.
Me neither.
The two brothers, right? You're talking the two brothers?
Yeah, Eric
the
and
physicist and
yeah.
they weird me out.
Yeah.
But sorry, I forgot the point I was gonna make.
Just that he's a good
My
source
point,
on this, I think. Was your
because he's not ideologically captured by the right, like absolutely not. He spends a vast majority of his time absolutely dogging the Trump presidency,
Mhm.
but will make efforts to acknowledge areas where I think what I see out of him is he's more interested in being like intellectually correct on arguments rather than ideologically captured. And
That's fair.
I'm up on this subject because, and it's hard to verify these things, and I know that you have a better skill at doing this. So I would love to hear like your takes on some of his arguments on this, because he does things um, like a report comes out talking about the famine that's going on in Palestine,
Mhm.
and then he will be talking to a guest that will be talking about how that report was factually incorrect. Like
You
it only accounted for a portion of the aid going in and didn't account for all the others when it made these claims. So it
You should send them to me because for whatever reason, my algorithm doesn't ever show me any Sam Harris. So when you come across something that you
yeah,
send it to me. I'll be happy to. I'll
I
be
can
happy
do
to
that.
look over. Okay, cool.
I can do that. Yeah,
All
appreciate
right.
it.
All right. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah.
See you.
All right. Q.
What's up, Q? Oh wait, hold on. Tanya said I didn't read the super chat, and I didn't. I laughed at it, Tanya, and I forgot to read it. She said, "Happy Friday." I wondered why the baseball was getting closer and closer. Then it hit me. I don't know why I didn't read that one. I read it in my head. Sorry, Tanya. All right, go ahead.
Hey, how's everybody doing this week?
Good man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. Now, I don't remember if it was even on your show or whether it was somewhere else that I was kind of out in the Twitch sphere, but somebody was talking about all the mobilizations of like the National Guards and how it was so pointless and everything to be putting them like in downtown areas of Chicago. I think it was might have been when you were like showing the pictures of Portland and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important that we always speak up and point out that just like what we just saw in Chicago with that you showed all those clips and talked about the guy with the double locked door and everything, that it was to normalize it for the people that'll be on the fringe, so that when they go in and brutalize, they'll be like, I didn't see that in my area. They were just walking around, not doing anything.
It's a good point.
It's like
Yeah.
to kind of give them this perception of they've seen what the National Guard was already doing. They know that that's not what they saw, and then it makes it even harder for them to totally understand and be like, yeah, that I totally see how they did that here. They would have. There's no question they did it to them.
Yeah, they're just peaceful. So if they stopped doing this peaceful marching around, they must have been provoked. It must have been warranted. That's a good point. I don't think it was me that said that. That's a really good point.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
and so like I just thought that that's important that because it's so that when we go out and we try and dispel these rumors with people, whether we're having small debates or aimlessly on TT or whatever, that we kind of have those perspectives to bring up to people, because we never know what will click with the opposition.
Yeah, that's a good
Those
point.
that can be saved.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But yeah,
Thanks, Q. I appreciate all the stuff you share with me too. Keep doing it. I know I don't always
no.
respond, but I appreciate it.
No, I know that you're still looking at them and reading them and everything. So
Okay.
appreciate you guys. Jen, love you. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You guys do the same.
All right, who's next? We got about we do need. I got a hard cutoff at 1, so we got about 15 more minutes.
Okay, so Jazzy. I unmuted you. So now you can unmute yourself. Jazzy, you're muted.
Sorry, I guess I'm batting 1,000. I didn't really mean to come up here. So what happened is I was watching the YouTube channel on TV because I prefer the bigger picture, and I couldn't get into Discord since I changed my phone, and I was sitting here trying to figure out how to do it, and it happened to work in the middle of it. So I just want to apologize. Great show.
Thank you.
You guys have a nice weekend, and we'll listen to you again on Monday. I work, but I always listen in the afternoon anyway.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, it's good to have you. A lot of people are referencing Freaky Friday. We didn't get it, but just so you know, ICE is launching a nationwide operation today, reportedly named Freaky Friday, that will target unaccompanied children aged 14 and older of all nationalities. Children detained and released will be sent a threat letter from ICE threatening indefinite detention and immediate transfer to ICE upon age out if they do not waive jurisdiction and withdraw applications for relief, including withdrawing their request for admission with EOIR. I don't know exactly what that is, but I think these are like temporary protections, and that they're asking for relief. So if they don't withdraw that, they'll be detained. Children will be offered $2,500 to return to their countries of origin. If children do not comply with the offer, the letter indicates their parents and family living in the U.S. will be arrested. ICE plans to detain all age outs, and they anticipate legal challenges. It is possible that the age threshold for this threat letter may be lowered to youth 10 years and Jesus fucking Christ, 10 years and older. ICE will target detained children, but also target children released from custody. Cool. Nice, Republicans. Fuck those kids, right? Sounds right about what that ICE agent said in Chicago. All right, who's next?
All right. If anyone else joins, I'm gonna cut it off. There's any more coming in. So positive impact.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I got my COVID shot yesterday, so I'm a little under the weather today. But
Well, I bet your Wi-Fi is
anyway.
great, though.
Exactly. It's vibrating.
It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put out there that the next No Kings protest is on October 18th, and I just think that's like a really awesome, peaceful protest. And the more people we get out there showing that we don't agree with what the administration is doing, like if you look at any fascist regime or any overturn of a government, it's the people protesting that can create that momentum. So I think it's really important that, even if you just go out for an hour or two, to, to show up and participate, so that, yeah, they know that we don't, agree with what they're doing. And I'm amazed at how many people I talk to who, are just ill-informed. They don't watch the news. They don't know what's really going on. And, so even, people like that, when I talk to them and tell them about what's going on and share with them as much unbiased news as I can find, even they're like, wow, I don't agree with that. And you can get them to go to these types of peaceful protests. So
I've got it. You can't see it, but I've got it up on the map. You can go to nokings.org, and that you can enter your address, or you can just use the scrolling function. You can find a local No Kings protest near you. So thank you.
yeah, we had like, I forgot what the number was, but the whole population of Central Oregon is, like 150,000 people.
Like 7.
And I think, yeah, we had so many people out there. It was unbelievable at the last one. I mean, it was incredible. So
That's awesome. Well, there you go. I think I may go October 18th. What day of the week is that?
I think it's a Saturday.
Saturday? Let's take a look. Yeah, so not this Saturday or the one after that. Maybe I'll be able to get out. I don't know what I have that weekend.
Yeah.
All
cool.
right. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Good talking to you
That's
again.
it. All right.
We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
All right, who's next?
233. 233. Are you you might need to put your phone on speaker or
Hey.
we see your camera on, but we can't hear you. Do you have your the speaker on your phone for audio? If you have an iPhone, it's in the top right hand corner. We can't hear you.
Still nothing.
Okay. Well, if I don't know how to give instructions for it.
We'll go to the next person. If you can figure it out, stay here, and we'll go to who's next. We'll see if we can come back.
Yep, Cam.
Hi, Cam.
Hey Jay, I feel like crap, but I just wanted to.
You do? You don't feel
show
good?
up.
Tough night
I'm
last
not.
night?
No, just nauseous today.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't want to show up.
Not a tough night last night? Or the easy night last night?
No, I was feeling the 6. I missed kind of the middle of the game.
Oh, okay. It was a good game. It was a
we
great
just
game,
had,
actually. Honestly, it was so good.
it was just I don't know why our defensive coordinator wasn't really worried about defending the check down, even though Mac Jones was gashing us with it for the first half, and then finally later on, like, hey, we should defend that. Like, no shit, dude. But
Devastating.
yeah, and just little dumb things, but it's fine.
All right.
But I want to show up, not just hiding with them.
Hey, congratulations.
But then, like, literally the next day, I got an email from a job that I'd been wanting at, but offered an interview. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, there's that too. So we'll
All
see
right.
what happens.
Now we're bragging. Hey, all right.
Yeah, no, yeah. But anyways,
Well, I hope you get feeling better,
yeah.
man. You sound terrible, to
Yeah,
be honest. I've never heard you sound so bad. So I hope you get feeling better.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys have a great day, and yeah.
You too. Good to talk to you, man. We'll see you.
All right, 233. Maybe try this. Try to like close out of Discord and come back in. Sometimes they'll be able to reconnect that way. And then Chandra.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. It's been a while.
Yeah. What's up? Where you been?
Oh, I got disability, and so my whole life has shifted, and new med changes have got me sleeping, and anyway,
Well, I'm
that's
glad
what
you're
I'm
here.
doing. Yeah, absolutely. I still watch you
Thank you.
as often as I can because you guys do a really good job. But what I'm wondering is, I know there's lawsuits. I know that Congress is standing up for itself. At what point do we really begin to fight back? Like, for real?
This is a tough answer because there's not a lot we can do other than make our voices heard. In a physical confrontation with the government, we're going to lose.
Right.
So what I do think that, like, these No Kings protests are important. I think voices are important because what you have to do is people are going to have to start getting uncomfortable, and a lot of people are. And there has to be enough voices on the right that are critical of this administration before they'll back down, if they do back down. But as far as like, is there a breaking point before we do something? I don't know. Yeah, you can hit them in the pocket. You can go after. I mean, I think going after the billionaires who fund Donald Trump is the thing that maybe we should focus on more than anything. Making sure that those people who fund him and those people who are getting special deals from him aren't getting any help, and that may come down to boycotting places like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. It may come down to all that stuff. And if you can get enough people pissed off about it that a protest like that works, that may be the way that it goes. Or maybe they'll just wake up before then. But I don't feel very confident that this administration has any intent on stopping anytime soon. I don't trust the Supreme Court to do the right thing, and I don't trust Republicans in Congress to do the right thing. It seems to be a lot of Republicans in Congress are conflicted, and that they have dirt on them, and they don't want that dirt out, so they're just going to continue to let this happen. That's what it feels like. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it seems that way. So
I wish I could give you a better answer.
It's okay. I mean, I know nobody knows, but it's just like, is there more that we can do to stop the power grabbing? I'm going to change everything, even if I don't have the authority to.
Yeah, for sure. There's more we can do, but the part of that where we get more that we can do starts with getting more people, and more people have to be. For a lot of people, they need to be affected, and some of them aren't affected yet. But it's coming. It's coming home for a lot of people. American farmers are really struggling right now. Of course, people who are on Medicare or Medicaid, they're going to be struggling right now. So I do think that momentum is shifting, which it just sucks that we have to wait for all that to happen. But stay loud, stay annoying. Stay engaged. Don't quit. That's what we can do. Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you again. I'm glad you're back.
You too. Thank
All
you.
right.
And thank you, Jen.
Have a good weekend.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. 233. Any luck? Okay, so I'm gonna mute it. Did you put your phone on speaker or anything like that? I saw you muted and then unmuted. Shut up, Jay.
Just feels like something I would do. I feel for him.
Turn it on, turn it off again.
I do this. Yeah, I do this for a living, and this happens to me.
You blow in the end.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
the cartridge.
Let's go to
All right,
Leroy.
Leroy, go ahead. Wait, hold it. Oh, there we go. I heard noise.
You did?
I did for a second. There we go. No, we hear you now. Can you hear us?
I don't hear him. I think you're the only one hearing them.
I hear them.
I don't hear him.
Fuck. Do you have them muted by chance?
Hear anything. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you were muted. I might have accidentally muted you. My bad.
Do you hear us?
You can hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, I want to say, Jay, that I have been following you and Jen for quite some time now. I tell my friends about you. I agree with you 99 and 44% of the time. You're like Ivory Soap. You're incredibly good at figuring out what's going on.
Thank you.
But when I was in the shower earlier, you were talking about Antifa and you made it sound like it was an organization. And I cannot abide that. It's not an organization. It's a group of like-minded individuals that have an idea, an ideology. And I hope that you go back and you look through what you said and you see what you said and how you made it sound like an organization, because giving the other side, giving the right that ammunition when you allow them that, you always talk to them. You said it several times today. You don't know what the word subvert means. You don't know what this means, what that means to several people. But then you need to choose your words just as wisely.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it, and we'll hear. But if you say
right,
you don't,
and I think you'll
hold on, real quick.
Subtle. It's subtle, but it's there.
Look, I understand, and
And
I understand.
you gave an
Hold on, wait.
organizational
Hold on.
233. You have to let him respond.
Hold on. It's fine. The only thing I just want to ask though, because you say you watch me, I have repeatedly on this show said that Antifa is not an organization. Like when Trump designated them a terrorist organization, my whole show was about how it's not an organization. They're never going to be able to figure this out, and they're going to use a RICO case. So I understand what you're saying, like that today I may not have chose my words correctly, and I'll go back and I'll watch them. But it is, I'm kind of confused because you say you're watching all the time. You've heard me say specifically over and over again that Antifa's not an organized group of people.
That's correct. And I have heard you say that over and over again. Like I said, today you chose poor words.
Okay, I'll check
and
it out.
you criticize people about using words incorrectly or using words poorly. And we should hold ourselves to the standard that we set.
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy. I'm gonna go back and look at it. In the moment when I finally saw the chat, it had been like 10 minutes. I think I hadn't seen the frustration, so I didn't remember exactly what I said. So I'm happy to go back and watch it.
Oh,
and
yeah, the chat was telling me, dude, we've moved on from there. And I'm like, I was in the shower. You know.
Yeah, I'll check it.
But
I'll
I love your content.
Appreciate that.
And it's a criticism to make you better at what you do.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Do you understand that?
All right. We're at next
I
time.
want you to be.
233.
I want you to constantly improve what you do.
No, I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm happy to go back and watch it. I wish I could do it in real time. I can't, but I'm happy to, and I'll probably address it on Monday after I've seen it.
Certainly. And
Okay.
if you see the problem, address it, and if you don't, then don't.
I appreciate that.
I
That's fair.
also want to thank Jen very much for helping guide me through getting on here. I will figure this out. I will Google things. I will get a profile set up and have a better picture instead of just a number for next week.
All right, brother. Have a good weekend. Thanks for coming up. I
You
appreciate it.
too. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, Leroy.
What's up, Leroy?
Jay, if you need to go, you can jump.
No, you're good.
Okay, all right. I started like a deep dive into the formation of the Heritage Foundation, and it's pretty interesting. So like, there's the Lewis Powell memo that led Paul Weyrich to change some of his beliefs and whatnot, and how much that influences what we see today. That's Heritage Foundation was the same time that ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Commission, was formed, or Exchange Council was formed. It's pretty cool, and I think it might be good for a show.
Yeah, that's the one where like the Lewis Powell memo. That's the one. I remember
Attack
something
on
like
American Free Enterprise or something.
Yeah, something about like the memo to dominate or something. I can't remember. I have to go back and read that. But yeah, it's been a while since I've read that. The Heritage Foundation. I think what's really obvious when you go back and look at the Heritage Foundation and their actions is that they're like white nationalists parading as Christian nationalists, and they're not very Christian. It's like it's corporatism, it's oligarchy, it's fascism, it's authoritarianism. They just hide behind Christianity and
100%.
and the Constitution.
Yeah, and they and it all stems around the IRS changing the tax exempt status from private schools.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, and then the second was they got the Southern Baptist Conference or whatever to change their position on abortion, and that's what brought in the religious right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's all really, really neat, man.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be good for a show and good for everybody else too.
That's a good idea. I'm going to write that down. But we should probably do a show on that next week so that people understand that's a great idea. I'll try and give you credit for it. I'll try and remember. If you have some links of stuff, if you have some links of stuff you're watching, will you send it to me on Discord and I can add those?
Yeah, will do.
All right, appreciate it, Leroy. Thanks, man.
All right, see you, man.
Have a good weekend. Any last words, Jen?
Nope.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, everybody. We'll be back Monday morning and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. to 1 Pacific Standard Time here on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're watching. I appreciate you guys for being here today. I appreciate the criticism. I hope that you guys know that. I hope you know I do listen to it. It does matter to me. It does matter to me that people think that I'm open-minded and that I'm open to criticism. And for those of you who it makes you uncomfortable when I am criticized, just know it's okay. It's part of it. And I do want to be made aware of that. I don't ever want to have an audience that just says whatever I say is right and go along with it. So I appreciate that. No hard feelings for anybody, except for a couple of maggots. A couple of you can go fuck yourselves. But if you can catch the replay, if you missed any part of today's show or any of the shows this week, you can catch those replays on YouTube or on Spotify. We have merch in our bio as well as Cameo. If you come across stories that are interesting, if you tag me on Twitter or send them to me on Discord, that's the best way to get a hold of me. I generally don't see it on TikTok or Instagram because the links don't work very well. But anyways, take care of yourselves this weekend. I imagine we're going to have a hell of a lot of dog shit things to talk about on Monday, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I am looking forward to seeing all of you, and I hope that you drink lots of water and say something nice about yourself. Take care of your friends and family. Stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.